One trophy. Get ready.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The pointy end of ESL One, the grand final on the biggest stage of CSGO has ever seen. And we have seen some extraordinary matches to get us to this point as they play off for this gargantuan trophy and a major, and two teams which deserve to be in the final. You've got one team that in envy seem to be with their new lineup almost unstoppable. Nothing can touch them. Then you've got fnatic, which just seem to be untouchable. You've got the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Now my job normally here is to hype you up. You're esports fans, you're CSGO fans. Do I need to hype this to you? Do I? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the biggest game of the year? Of course you are. Now let's see who you think is going to win. Do you think it's going to be envious? Or do you think it's going to be fnatic? That's not loud enough. That is not loud enough for a grand final. Do you think envious are going to win? Or do you think fnatic are going to win? My friends, we are ready. Are you ready for a grand final? Then let's do this for this massive cup. I'm going to say 3 words. Are you ready?
One more time, put your hands together for the teams and players coming to the stage, and this time, make some noise for Team Envy! Big welcome to their opponents entering the arena. Here are the reigning ESL One champions, fnatic!
And we're finally here. All 10 players left in ESL One Cologne 2015. Only 10 players left for contention for that trophy, for the title of ESL One champions, but of course, title of the champion of the majors here in Cologne 2015. Gentlemen, Envy versus fnatic. Earlier we talked in broad strokes. Who do we think is going to win? What's the story for both teams? But now that we see them coming in, has anything changed? Both teams, I mean, fnatic, first of all, after that kind of turmoil they had to go through to beat out BP, and they've risen back from the ashes, they look confident as ever in these finals.
I agree. I mean, I kind of feel like Envious has been slightly more hot today, as I mentioned earlier, but then again, fnatic is just an unstoppable force, especially when they get going. And it's rare that we see Olof have a bad map. For him to have two bad maps in a day, I don't hope so, but I feel like Olof is going to be on point. I think that he's furious right now. He wants to prove the fans, the crowd, something, that he is the world's best player.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many tools on Fnatic for pronax to use. They've shown over this streak of dominance that they've had that they can counter anything that's thrown at them. You know, when they get into tough stretches, they have that mind in pronax, they have that tactical genius that can figure it out. Their pauses are incredible. You can always see they figure something out, and then they just go on a run. There's just so many tools in that team to use. But they're going against that honeymoon period of a new team that's just on fire right now.
I mean, for me, just basing off these two teams right now, you have a very mentally tired Fnatic. Just came off from a best of 3 versus Virtus Pro, but then again, they're also warmed up, right? And then you have Envious having a chance to just watch Fnatic's games. They had a time to relax, get some food, you know, then that's just true. Coming in. But so it's always going to be pros and cons if you want to play last or if you want to just play the first game. So overall, I think that obviously the warm-up period is going to benefit Fnatic coming into like a very good cobble side, a very good last map. But then again, if they haven't had a chance to like get some more energy in the body and stuff like that, I think Envy might come in here and just swing it off and potentially win the first map.
Wow, similar. What about you? Any outside factors that concern you for either team?
Almost, for some reason, the word timeout comes to mind. And Fnatic, they're going to have to be very wise about using those timeouts to break Envy's momentum, because I kind of follow in Fifth's footsteps here, where I think that that Envy have a strong chance of just taking control of the map right off the bat. They just got to watch an entire best of 3 series of Fnatic. They've done their homework, and knowing Happy, he wasn't somewhere, you know, taking a nap. He's done that in the past. In a match like this, he was definitely watching, and he was definitely getting prepared for what Fnatic are going to throw at them. So this is going to come down to the mental fortitude on Fnatic's side, knowing if Envy start to pull away, if NBK starts to go completely crazy again, when to put a halt to things. Because clearly, as we saw in Cobblestone, his team, with that timeout, they always make good use of it. That's when they can just completely turn the tide.
I agree. And just to see this in a big perspective, one thing that actually crossed my mind was that these two teams are probably the best 2 teams in the world at playing with all kinds of different weapons, right?
Yeah.
You have Fnatic with the flusha P90, the JW Max 7, yep. You have the Envious with the Scout of NBK, the Pistol Kings of kioShiMa, etc. And that's something which is really going to be shown in this game. You're not only going to be seeing a battle and a war being fought on AWPs, M4s, and AKs. This is going to be the entire arsenal of the CSGO weaponry.
Yeah, it should be really interesting to watch. I want to bring to the spotlight this time for the final 2 players that we've mentioned quite a bit of throughout this tournament. One, of course, olofmeister. Can't forget him from Fnatic. We've been saying potentially, maybe even now confidently, the best player in the world. It really will depend on how he performs in this final.
Even if he denies it.
Well, even if he denies it, right? But then on the other side, for Envy, Apex. He's been in the spotlight, coming in with this new roster. How is he going to perform? Will he do well along with Kenny? But then Apex really has exploded in a lot of these maps to make sure that MB can get this far.
Now, let me go ahead and basically make the point here, the big point, which is Apex does what Apex does because they have no fear. He has 100% confidence in his team. That's the magic of this new roster, is the fact that on Titan, Apex and Kenny, they were never able to have that backing from their teammates. They never knew, is somebody at my back rushing into this site with me, or is he waiting around the corner and I'm just going to go and die needlessly here? That's not the case. Now Envy, this is why they're able to be so effective in pistol rounds, in these forced buy situations where it's Tech 9 and it's run or die. You go in, if you stop, that's it. The round is over, you're done, you've lost it. Envy, they don't make those mistakes anymore. Apex, he can lead the charge confidently because he knows 100% that his team, they're never going to stop. They're right on his tail. That's what makes him so dangerous as an entry fragger right now.
Yeah, also, and as well, we saw in the semifinals matchup how even in distribution the kills were for Envy. Yeah. It's not like one player just outside of NBK taking over in Inferno, but I mean, for the most part, it was just so concise from top to bottom in the kill count. And the big thing is they ran a lot of those death squads where they would have 4 people together, 1 person on the other side of the map watching the flank. So if Fnatic's gonna, their trademark is that aggression between olofmeister and JW, finding some action, being the aggressors, going out and searching for it, and those death squads can punish that. It's always mattered with Fnatic what comes next because they can recover from that situation so good.
Yeah, now you see both teams huddled around, making sure they're ready for the map veto. Before we start discussing the map veto, something to know, both teams have only dropped one map coming into the finals. Envy does 2 against TSM, and same for Fnatic, they only dropped that one map against VP in the semifinals on Mirage. So both of them pretty much a clean record coming in, just tested to their limits in the semis. What do you guys think? Are there any clear ideas here going forward?
Well, let's give it to the
let's
Bandmaster
veto
himself.
really quick. It's hard for us to say, okay, we didn't even get to say anything. Overpass instantly removed by Envious, not the biggest of surprise, I would say. They've been looking shaky on it at times. And Mirage, that's pretty much a respect ban, I believe.
No, no, of course not. I mean, having bad results versus Luminosity and then just getting torn apart, torn to shreds versus Virtus Pro, they're not feeling comfortable on this map as of yet, or for this tournament.
And I was going to say, Envy picking Dust 2, I mean, that's a map that plays to their strengths, plays to that individual skill level, and even though they lost it against TSM, TSM's the best team in the world on that map, so there's no shame in dropping it to them, but still very, very confident on it.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Fnatic just coming off of that big win in Cobblestone, take it for themselves, and then Inferno for map number.
I hope we get to see Inferno.
We need 3 maps.
I would love to see
Please.
Inferno.
Great, Gaben, give us 3 maps.
Yeah, I would actually love to see Inferno. Overall, I think that Envy is the Dust 2 pick for me is a little bit sketchy. I mean, Fnatic, yeah, they don't play it that much, but then Envy as well, feeling very confident, even though they, like Hayden said, losing to TSM.
One thing I've
Look at
noticed
that.
about...
They go T side.
Oh.
Envy start T.
Well, one thing I've noticed about Fnatic on Dust 2, and maybe this part plays into why it was picked as well, is that if you punish that early aggression out of JW and olofmeister, that team gets very spread out. They don't always seem to have like a great plan to find ways to group up and do that counter aggression that gets them back into the round. So I think Envy's looking at taking advantage of that on a map that, you know, Fnatic's just a little bit, if you can say they're weaker on a map, I think Dust 2 would be the map that they're a little bit weaker on.
And looking in the past, these teams have a big history on Inferno. That's why it's also interesting to go into the third one. With the old Envious lineup, Fnatic beat them 3 times in a row. So from that record, Fnatic should have the edge on that map. But then again, you see Envious going for the terrace side pick. They have the chance of deciding to go for the CT half, one of the strongest sides to start on in the potential third map of a major final, and they go for the terrace side. We saw what they were able to do against the TSM defense, and that's what they're looking to do against the Fnatic defense as well.
That's like a pride pick. That's like, I don't even care.
No, and there was some discussion there too, because they started CT and they came back and changed it back to T. So there was a little bit of discussion, but I think Happy's trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
He knows that Thorn's watching.
Yeah, I mean, of course he is, and in a lot of ways, you know, along with the Dust 2 pick, I think that goes hand in hand. Phoebe, you were mentioning a little bit skeptical, given that Fnatic were like, you know what, we had a little tough time this week on Mirage, let's ban it out. And the Envy's like, we lost to TSM, no worries. You know what, TSM's respected, we'll still take it because we're still just as confident. Maybe they are really just riding this high. Maybe they're testing that honeymoon period they're having. How high can we fly right now with this roster? Ladies and gentlemen, the maps have been set. It's between Envy and Fnatic. Who will be the next ESL One champion? Who will be the next major title holder? We're gonna take a quick short break, and then when we come back, it's going to be map number 1 of the final.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The ESL One Cologne finals is about to begin. Team Envious swept aside Team Solo Mid on Inferno. That is the final map. But Fnatic, the resilience they just showed against Virtus Pro, definitely put them in stronghold once again coming into this one. Joining me for this finals will be Anders, of course, and Henry G.
Hello.
What do we expect? Dust2 first up between these two teams. Very confident pick from a team that just lost to TSM on this very map.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's all about going into this, just showing absolutely no doubt and no fear, and believing that you're destined to win this. I like that. I hope that's the attitude of both these teams.
Yeah, I think you can't take too much away from the TSM game. Like I said, they're the absolute masterminds on CT Dust2 especially, so you can't say Envious should be afraid of this map. It's an individual skill play, and we know that big players can go big on this, so Kenny S especially, all eyes are going to be looking to him with the AWP. Will he be able to go toe-to-toe with JW on the deathmatch arena?
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. I mean, they have some pretty strong people in this arsenal, fnatic, as well as not just going to be JW, I think, Orping. If Kenny really steps it up, then olofmeister might be able to join in there as well. And we all know how good that double AWP setup is on Dust2.
Well, that's the whole thing. The double AWP setup is the best setup, in my opinion, you can actually run. It allows you to anchor both bomb sites and move your rifles around, setting them up for and adjusting to the team you're playing against. You have to have crossfires in middle, boost up at the short, for example, and it can be the strongest you can be. But the difficulty is getting to that point. We know these teams like to force buy so much. Their economy can get so affected with the stubbornness almost of not wanting to be the first ones to bow out and actually do the full eco.
Well, Envious will be starting out on the T side on Dust2, fnatic on the CT, of course. And they were actually watching this TSM semi-finals earlier on today. I could see them on the balcony here in this stadium watching on. How much would they have taken from that TSM game? Bearing in mind the strong result that TSM had on this map, or they, pronax just say, you know what, we've got our own game. While TSM are doing great things, we know how to do it better.
That's the whole thing. You can't take too much away from watching other people's games. Like, it's good to take notes and watch how they approach certain situations, but the key is you should concentrate on what you're doing, the executions you have in mind, and then coming into when you're facing those sort of placements, you need to work out what can we run here that goes back into the round. Every round is completely different, and you need to judge each situation based on that. So it's just a case of getting an idea and a feel of how they take bomb sites and potentially hold off certain choke points as well.
How do you feel about the matchup of styles here between the two teams? I mean, we've seen all tournament long how hard it's been for Envy's opponents to stop that incredibly aggressive terrorist side. They all know it's coming, and they all get surprised by it anyway. What about fnatic?
I thought you were referring to the crowd then, for a moment, because that is going to be part of the challenge as well.
Probably so. Oh, I think the pistol round is about to start here. 10 seconds left.
Okay, quick prediction. Coming into this one, 3 maps. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, now then. Well, I really do think it's going to be a 3-mapper. I'm going to tip it in favor of Envious, but we have to see how this first map unfolds. It's going to be such a close one. It's definitely on a knife edge, but the pistol is now coming in to fruition. And let's have a look at the buy. We do have Team Envious on the T side.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the ESL One Cologne finals. It is fnatic versus Envious. The pistol round is underway.
Here we go then. Fast execution into the B tunnels here. We can see one player lurking in T-spawn, but the CTs have got some aggression onto the short area as well. They're trying to get as much intel as they possibly can, but not finding anything yet.
Oh no, this could be a big problem here. If Happy goes down, a lot of the setup for Envy is going to be... But look at this, he actually sees 2 people. flusha, blind shot, takes down Apex, and now they're in the B bomb site. flusha getting a chance to reload. Backup is already here. kioShiMa with a stunning shot to shot down olofmeister. It's now a 4v4. JW still alive. Kenny gets a kill on KRIMZ. flusha in the back lines. He's out of ammo. A knife is out. What's happening? flusha, he's getting stabbed. He goes down. NBK, he drops flusha. It's going to be a 2v2, no bomb plan, and there it is. Happy, double kill, and Envy, they take the pistol.
Amazing stuff there. We saw the CTs pushing to try and get some information at the start of the round. The quick execution into B. There was such pandemonium in. Look at this moment. Both players running out of ammo on the platform, and NBK taking the knife there. Amazing stuff there, and what a brilliant start for Team Envious as they take the first round on Dust2. We can see, though, the force buy coming in from fnatic. They definitely will have a taste for blood going into this round.
How will they react to it? They were looking to stack out the B side, maybe go for that passive take over on A, but Happy, you can see, or hear, just drilling down, taking a look around. NBK and Apex on the creep through. You saw the incredible opening statistics. pronax is the man that's going to get tested if Apex were to pick through, but Nobody's showing. This is fnatic playing it very passive. Apex is going to push on through. Good little flash there. Doesn't get a second, taking down to 3 health, but somehow gets away with a life because keniS comes in and supports.
That's perfect information gathered. As we said, though, flusha answers back onto NBK. Scout on scout. He takes the scalp of NBK there, and now it's a 4-on-3 situation in favor of EnVyUs.
Well, if this is how we start, you got to wonder where we're going to end in this grand finals. There's JW to take down Happy, and it's back to a 3v3 here. Envy, usually they're the ones dishing out this kind of punishment in the second round, but fnatic, they could do it too, and maybe even better. And JW on long, still fighting there as Apex goes down to flusha. It's now a reverse kill there as Kenny will drop JW, and it's a 2v2. And Kenny, he's not even that scared. He's actually going to go and look into CT spawn. Bomb is ticking, and there's no kit, obviously, on the CT side, so retake going to be very tough, and I think they're just looking for the exits.
And you can see this is a big round now. They haven't got the kits to play with, so they're just going to want to be saving their scouts there. But KRIMZ does take down keniS, making this round very expensive. Gets both of them as well, and that's going to be all the terror is taken down, but the bomb will blow up. But a huge economic deficit for the teaser, and I think that sums up how this game's going to go down. Every kill, even when they got the first 2 frags in middle, fnatic answer back and end up getting a clean sweep there. But the headline is EnVyUs go 2-0 up.
It is the start they needed. The crowd very much behind EnVyUs. That may well work in their favor. We saw the French crowd earlier on singing the anthem, but
here we go, then we can see, look at the buyback from fnatic. They picked up some rifles, they're ready to go. keniS, though, does have the AWP, goes with that aggression on long. Isn't able to find anything, but it does open the round up.
And imagine how mad that is. He actually goes long and around with no body armor, and it's such a common sight to be throwing grenades in there. If he gets tagged with no body armor, he's going to be very low on health. Apex had armor, but still down to 58. He's in the middle, he's going to keep being here, and he goes down to flusha. That might have been a bit of a slip-up, and that's now a man down for Team Envy.
That's going to cause some problems. The smoke from pronax is delaying him. keniS has pushed through the smoke, went too aggressive, and flusha catches him in the back. And this is a disaster. Now for Envy, they tried to help out, but fnatic's force is working wonders. NBK is creeping through over onto B side, but he's going straight into KRIMZ and olofmeister. He'll go down. flusha raining the shots through. This has not gone Envy's way.
Yeah, some big mistakes being made there. They didn't need to commit 1 by 1 into the middle area, getting taken down by the scout. And this, you can see, they have got the AWP remaining, but 5-on-2 situation, you really do have to favor the CT setup here. fnatic looking incredibly strong there, and JW does take down kioShiMa. Happy's going to be last man remaining, but that is a round on the board for fnatic, and that force buy does work out for them, and it was a crazy situation going into that round.
They even salvaged the AWP that Kenny was wielding at the beginning of the round, and that's going to be on JW, not something that's going to make anybody on Envy smile. Envy, on the other hand, they're not going to bend so easily. Even though they actually didn't get that many kills on the round, they're still going to buy up here. Everyone except Kenny, that is.
This is the stubbornness I talked about. No team will want to back down in these initial stages of the game. You can see them getting Tech 9s and P250s. All 5 players coming into the B tunnels, though. Potentially going to do a similar tactic to what they do on the pistol, smoking up and then going straight through. They have got a smoke on NBK there, so just biding their time, waiting for the CT utility to be used up here.
flusha with the AK holding a CT spawn is going to be checked out. Happy is the sole man that's going to check this angle, but KRIMZ and olofmeister have been so solid, and they're holding B site very deep as well. You can see flusha just tucked in there, and they're going to burst on through the smoke straight into B site. That's going to be a great flash, but KRIMZ not going for the shot straight away. Will manage to get a little peek around, but kioShiMa comes in with a pistol. They managed to get olofmeister. The B control is in the hands of EnVyUs. Somehow they managed to find the heads of fnatic the second they peeked.
Yeah, and you can tell fnatic right here, they're not even going to try and go for it. They know they've got the rifles picked up, they already have armor, and even without any grenades here on the terrorist side, holding the B-bomb side is still a lot easier. Happy sneaking out into the middle, is going to get caught by flusha, but these are all just exit frags. And you know what, Henry? This has to sting for fnatic, because they run a very similar strat themselves when they have pistol armor, except fnatic do a much more interesting. That's a nice shot, long range, but it gets refragged. But fnatic's variation of this strat involves actually standing behind the smoke in the entrance and then flashing through in a pop flash.
That's exactly what they run on their pistol round, and we know how strong EnVyUs can be with these force buy with pistols as well. They just went in with P250s and found the first 2 frags. That's so huge, and like you could see, fnatic saw it coming as well. They just got taken down, and like you said, the bomb goes down in that situation, and they just fell back completely. And this is going to be such a back and forth game. That lovely shot there from Apex onto JW. But The dual orb setup coming in now. This is what we talked about. This game is going to be crazy. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. This is the strongest setup you can run on Dust 2, but let's see how it unfolds now.
And it's olofmeister, the man that was going in towards long, but I think they've already sussed this one out. fnatic making a quick rotation, but NBK, he's charging headlong in. He managed to get a good tag down, but Happy was picked off by JW. They dropped down into ramp, but they're going to get charged on down. That is a very aggressive Envy as they all leap down, but it was quickly equalized by flusha and KRIMZ. And now NBK with a plant down is in a 2-on-1. KRIMZ is the sole man. Is he going to try and push this?
Well, he's got no kit, and he just put out the one grenade here. If he got a really quick frag on someone, he's definitely going to keep going. But the more time passes, it's going to be very tricky. And Envy, are they going to show themselves? A bit of a chance there. But now they know where he is, and that kind of gives it up. And yeah, saving the AWP, definitely a better choice right here. So I think KRIMZ was looking for an opening, but one didn't present itself in the first 5 seconds, and then it's just not worth it.
You can tell this is the grand final. The big plays coming through. The quick call just to get up short as fast as possible. Exchange of frags there. Dropping down into CT spawn as well. It's going to be a really fast-paced game. And that's the fourth one on the board for Envious there. But KRIMZ does save the WP. Looking at the money for the CTs now, they're going to have to make that decision. We know they want to force buy here, but this might not be the right call, judging by the current state of the game. So be interesting to see how they approach this one. They're looking like they're not going to force into it.
You know, I was talking to Hastro earlier on, the owner of Envy, and about the team, how confident they were. And the confidence is so much that, well, obviously we were watching Inferno at the time, they're so confident they will just all pile on through. Nobody will stop. They will keep on pushing through smoke, keep on pushing into sites, and they will be backed up. And maybe that's just what's giving Apex the abilities to try and break through onto sites here. But flusha and JW with a double pistol kill will manage to turn things around. But kioShiMa, ever present for Envious in the semi-finals, turns up once again here in the final, and that is going to be a bomb plant coming through for Envy.
So KRIMZ once again saving that AWP. These rounds are absolutely crazy. The teams aren't feeling the map, and they're not playing traditionally whatsoever. They're just making sure they're rushing into choke points as fast as they can. They know the pressure is on, and they're capitalizing on that. And this is going to be the fifth round, and they've now found KRIMZ as well. He's got 8 HP, and he's going to be hunted down. You can see them pincering from either end of the map, and Happy should take him here, which he does. And they're looking very strong now. And looking at the CT money, after not force buying to that, they made the right decision. They do give themselves a chance going into this one.
So we're now starting in the 7th round, and olofmeister and pronax still have 0 kills on the board here.
Wow.
A little bit of an uncomfortable throwback to the game against Virtus Pro, where Olof or Mirage ended up being almost entirely absent. So you've got to hope that he's able to bring you back, because they need him desperately right now.
Yeah, I mean, in his defense, he came back and got, well, something like 50 kills over the next 2 maps. So he absolutely has it in him to do that. But right now, it's a very good early pressure from Envious. But look at fnatic. They have gone very aggressive here. kennyS is going to walk out completely unknown, but he does manage to get the support. Apex, they heard the footsteps, they sussed it out, and kioShiMa strikes, and suddenly mid completely clear, and fnatic find themselves 2 men down.
An absolutely great position here for the Envy team, finding those 2 kills, and that was all about timing. A little bit more time or a little bit less time for fnatic, and they would have probably had the advantage instead, but Envy, they got it down just perfect. Now, there's only 3 members left, and they're spread out all across the map here.
So we saw the CTs, they're trying to adapt to what Envious are doing, getting that very fast-paced game, getting information at the start, but Envious, they took their foot off the pedal there and waited for that push as well. A great read by them, and you can see them actually showing some amazing discipline now. The CTs desperate for a kill here. kioShiMa has got the information, the JW is pushing along. This duel could sacrifice this round for CTs, and he will fall back now, and back to the bomb site for him.
Just how... Oh, wait a minute. JW, who wasn't taken down, does manage to get himself one. Backs away. He's got the support of flusha down long as well, but they're going to pressure him. And kennyS, of all people, comes around with that Tech 9 and manages to make it count. Now flusha is well aware, and Kenny lands himself another. And that will be the round going to Envious. What I was about to ask you is just how vital this double AWP setup is becoming for Envious now that Kenny is on the team. Happily taking that AWP as well.
It's actually quite unorthodox to run into T side though. It's one of the, it shows you the mentality they're going into this. They've got the opportunity to do it, and it's working for them. So why not? They're changing their mentality almost every single round. They're either rushing up short or holding back, and the CTs really can't get a foot in here. They're trying to stabilize the game and just get 1 round on the board just to potentially get the economy on their side, but it's looking like they're getting shut out just in terms of fragging right now. And KRIMZ, the last man, once again has got an M4 in hand, but you know the terrorists are hunting him down, and NBK is going to be the man to find him, but no, KRIMZ takes him down. Apex should finish the job, and there it is. They're looking incredibly sharp right now. Do fnatic have an answer for this? Looking at their economy right now, I'm not sure they do. This could be too far gone for them at this stage. again, olofmeister and pronax still yet to frag on this map in the 8th round.
Very strong start here for the Frenchman. And you've got to just point out as well, there was about 10 seconds left as the bomb went down that last round. If flusha doesn't go down, he might be able to buy enough time for them to win the round just by killing one person.
Yep.
And then KRIMZ would have essentially won it by staying.
Acha que é brincadeira? Escavação clandestina na praça, derrubando árvores dentro do parque sem licença e atravessando fora da faixa.
Saudades do Minecraft? Te entendo. Jogue com seus amigos no seu host de Minecraft da Hostinger. Tenha controle total em poucos cliques. Os mods, plugins e limites de players estão em suas mãos. Jogue sem preocupação. A proteção DDoS vai manter os creepers afastados.
Alive here. Kenny attempting a shot out on long, but not going to connect with anything. And it's obviously just pistols here on Fnatic.
Double nade attempt there from pronax and JW, but Kenny has kioShiMa backing him up, so he doesn't need to worry about being the only man being pressured. With Olof. Happy going very close. olofmeister tries to push him down, but Happy not going to go down so easily. And now, of course, NBK steps into the threshold to take himself a kill. flusha will get hunted down. He's just caught between a very hard rock and a very solid place. It's 7-1, ladies and gentlemen, to Envious on Dust 2. The French are renowned for being very strong on this map, and after the semi-finals you thought maybe, just maybe, they were second-guess themselves, but clearly this is a very confident Envy coming into the finals.
So that's 5 in a row now for Envious. What is the response from Fnatic? JW has got the AWP. Be interesting to see where he does take it. He's going to actually show some aggression towards middle. Nothing going to come of it though. Kenny S is calling information there. 3 CTs crossed, and again this battle is going to be very important.
Currently got 3 people in upper dark, and you can tell Happy's set up here and scoping into that B bomb site. A couple of grenades going to follow up to block his vision. We see NBK earlier here in the playoffs actually get a couple of kills through that smoke in the middle. It's going to be JW missing a flick, and still plenty of time here for Envy to come up with a solution. Actually, they're going to run right in here. Epic's already tried this and it failed, but this time you can tell he's going to be more cautious.
Backed away, did get tagged by JW. I didn't see whether it was through the door. It must have been, because it was either that or a leg. But it does look like it's going to be a slowdown from Envious. A minute on the clock, plenty of time, and it seems that Fnatic are starting to read this situation well. KRIMZ is going to be lingering up close in that smoke now.
The key thing to note is here they haven't actually got any information anywhere on the map apart from the B tunnel, so this will be interesting to see how this goes down.
Well, it looks like they're about to go for it. Olof and KRIMZ, they've got a sort of a crossfire, but this is going to be very tricky anyway. I think Envy's got a very good position. I don't like this corner for KRIMZ. It can be so hard to defend yourself in here. Flashbang out once, buying more time. 30 seconds, Olof gets a kill. KRIMZ spraying down one. It's a double for Olof, but KRIMZ, he can't finish Kenny, who takes 2 in return with that AWP, and now there's only 20 seconds left. flusha right outside the bomb site, and he's looking for that plant inside Kenny. He's going to put it down once. flusha, can he get the angle? He's spraying but not connecting, and the battle just keeps on going here. Kenny looking for an opening top of the box, and Fnatic, they've got them an advantage. They're going to try and slow it down here. Molotov to follow up to push Happy back in. Kenny with a headshot. It's down into a 2v2 as pronax takes down Kenny. It's all on Happy, and he drops. flusha picks it up. Excellent pre-fire, and that's a good round for Fnatic. Finally.
They finally get their second round on the board, and this is when they need to find the momentum there. We can see pronax finally making the AWP work for him. The retake's effective, but Kenny S coming into that B site, he's looking really scary right now. 2 quick scopes going into the bomb site, and it looked very impressive. So what's the answer back here? Do Envious go back to the fast start and get straight up short just to try and lock that down, or do they keep this slower pace mentality they've been employing the last couple of rounds?
Well, Kenny's going to get himself back on the rope. They did have plenty in the bank, of course, to get straight back into this after so many rounds back-to-back. NBK with the bomb is the sole man over in B. It's risky play considering JW's gone aggressive, and that nade's going straight onto NBK. Will knock him down to 52 health. That was pinpoint accuracy straight at his feet. Wouldn't have known it. Apex just waiting off the side. kioShiMa, everybody, as you said, going to slow the pace down. Trying to work out Fnatic, trying to figure out, get them to use those smokes. But at the moment, no information being gathered at all, just lots of shots rattling through into darkness. Oh, flusha! The follow nade did catch NBK, and that's going to lower them. JW is going to try and catch on towards Kenny S. He's on nothing, he's pinned in the corner. This is Envy, they're going to have to back away, but they've rescued the bomb.
Kenny very low there, and still got 50 seconds left there. Rushing out on long as well, and in the pit, pronax is hiding, and he's got a little bit back up here, but they both go down. pronax still in pit. He is actually going to get the kill on Apex, and now it's into a 2v1. Happy 35 seconds. Bomb in middle. Seems like an impossible task, especially as olofmeister is there to shut him down. It's a nice triple kill, and a very confusing round, but fnatic come out on top.
One they absolutely had to win as well. Had they have lost that one, they'd been forced to another eco, and it could have been devastating for them. Finally, fnatic showing some fortitude, getting themselves a couple of rounds on the board, and this is due to Envious is changing the pace. They're slowing right down now, and JW's hitting some shots and actually shutting them down in the mid area there. So here we go into the 11th round now, but pronax only on a Famous, but we can see the double orb setup for the Envious has come out again, and it has got them a lot of rounds on the board so far.
Once again, JW going a little more aggressive over on long, but not able to find anything, and that's given up a little bit of catwalk control. Envious going to try and make use of this one. They're going to push on round. JW holding the angle at the cross. NBK is going to be the first on through. kioShiMa and Kenny passing the bomb to him. He's not going to go just yet. They need to time this just right. Now, the question is it a fake?
Because they still have Happy and Apex over on long. It'd be a big commitment to a fake, I feel, right now. But pronax alone down in pits is a bit scary. If he goes down, JW's pretty much alone. Apex has already pushed through. He's actually out on long behind pronax, who doesn't know. And JW's going to go down. flusha trying to come up, but Apex coming in from long to get the one, to get the double. He's running back in. pronax is there. He's frozen. And Apex finally goes down, but it might have been too late here. 2v4. What a great round here from Apex. He actually infiltrated the A bomb site.
Yeah, pronax having a moment of madness there, allowing the T to walk straight past him. That's the first set piece we've seen from Envious as well. A nice wall of smokes onto A, pintering both areas from short and long, and it's worked so effectively for him now. We can see them hunting the CTs, and they should be able to get them. Kenny S takes down pronax. olofmeister going to be the last man remaining. He's going to be in the lower B tunnels. He should be able to survive this, but that was a really nice reply from Envious. They've tried slowing it down and working the picks. It hadn't worked out for them, so they got themselves some out control, did the full execute onto the site, and pincered, and that's what it worked so well for them. So a nice response from them. fnatic now going to be in a difficult situation. Just having a look at their money as well. They're going to have about, it's going to have to be a force buy or a full eco here. They've got one gun to play with, and this is when it's a very difficult situation to decide what to do. They're down on rounds. They probably want to play the long game and try and get as many on the board as possible. So we can see a couple of pistols coming out, but no armor. So this will just be an eco for them.
Have they got anything left in the bank? Because 8 rounds is already a great start for Envy, and they're looking for more, and they may well get it. JW going full on aggression, almost finds the head of kioShiMa, takes him down to 9 health, quickly retracts. pronax gives him the cover, but it's opened up the mid for Apex. He's just rushed on through. Happy manages to get one over on B. Apex with another, and this is fnatic dropping once again. KRIMZ, the sole man to keep them away on B site, will just get punished. And all across the board, kills fall for Envy. It's 9 rounds on the T side for them so far.
Henry, you were pointing out you can really feel this is a grand finals, but I feel like with these two particular teams, they react differently to pressure than most other would. A lot of other teams, I think, would play even more carefully. You saw JW going aggressive on catwalk there, and the instant reply from Apex is just run out middle and try and fight. That's not normal behavior.
I guess he's just trying to ascertain where the stacks may lie. Seeing one player on short may giving him information, but we can see now there is a force buy in place. 2 scouts are Happy and Kenny S both getting frags on the board and making it a 5-on-3 in their favor. 2 more players remaining out long. They're going to be aware of that now, and they should just get out of that area.
Relentless aggression from both fnatic and Envious in this final. We were wondering whether they would slow it down, but it seems they are quickening up the pace here as Apex goes hunting for more. Looking around in towards CCT spawn. He will find flusha, but it was a great little answer. Did manage to get Apex down to 11 hit points, but that leaves KRIMZ once again on his lonesome. pronax is a long way away across the map, and he's going to try and chase Happy down. If he can get the AWP out of his hands and maybe try and rescue something, that would be great for them, but Happy's not falling for it. KRIMZ, the sole man left, just trying to prevent Envious getting anything more from this round, but NBK will close it out. This is 10-3. This is starting to become a very one-sided first half.
This definitely isn't a traditional game of CS. Every round being approached so differently. Normally when you know you have the economic advantage, you want to slow it down, feel out the map, try and ascertain what's going on with these guys, just rushing all over the place. Dual orbs in the T side almost every single time, and now we go into the quasi-buy from fnatic, so this could be another explosive round coming in.
Yeah, NBK pulling out the classic AK jump window peek right there, and see that all the time, don't you? Wow. 10-3 Envy right now. They're stomping fnatic on Dust 2. It's going to be a bit of a refract there from JW, but Kenny to take down him right afterwards, and it's going to be olofmeister taking out Kenny. Still a man advantage for Envy until they lose Apex. It's not looking good here. They're actually losing to this force-up from fnatic, and that's a big turnaround. And I love the change of pace here. fnatic, as soon as they have the advantage, they fall back and they start playing defensively. And that's very hard to do when you've been pushing that aggressively for the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. So once they got those first 2 kills, we wanted to get back, get to the bomb sites and force the T's to make the mistakes from there. They have the man advantage. You can see NBK working his way up, but flusha is waiting on the bomb site for him.
Clever little change of pace from Envy as well. I think, okay, we've lost 2 rifles over on B site. flusha must be all on his own, but flusha manages to get himself 1 down. Now Happy getting tagged up. You can see the tracer fire also coming through the smoke, and he's going to get taken down. flusha will turn the round in his favor, and fnatic from a force get themselves the round. Is that the one? Is that the thing that's going to get fnatic back in Dust 2?
It's certainly a step in the right direction. I love how flusha essentially was bullied out behind that crate. They hit 2 AWP shots through the box on him from 100 down to 70 and from 70 down to 33. And then he comes out and kills one and almost gets the other one as well. It's a 10-4. Last round of the half coming up. And double AWP on either side.
Well,
that's what we talked about, Olof being the anchor on the B bomb site. He gets the opening frag on the Happy, they smoke off the tunnels, and now they just need to force the T's to do something and they don't want to. So what's the reaction here?
I was just wondering whether Envy would try and slow down after that, getting caught out by those pistols, but it seems not. Happy was darting straight for B tunnels. Will get caught out though. JW holding the angle, doesn't manage to land the shot though. Kenny S will get nailed. It's going to be flusha popping out, but olofmeister will back that up, and now it is all down to kioShiMa. Envious, they're going to be happy with 10 rounds nonetheless. kioShiMa, literally nothing to lose coming into this one. KRIMZ going to hold the angle on that bomb. He's going to sit and babysit it. 3 members, pronax coming around. kioShiMa's going to try a little ramp drop here and try and scale for the element of surprise. He may catch JW out, but surely won't catch the rest out.
You only win these situations if the other team makes some really grave mistakes. The one thing that kioShiMa has 2 things going from here. It's the time that was on the clock, and it's the fact that they don't know where he is. Nice shot to start off, and he drops JW, but now they know where he is, and he's not got a lot of time left to switch his position. You can see he's trying to make them guess, and they've guessed just right. Smoke is up, he runs through his own Molotov into middle. Mid-air headshot on KRIMZ, really turns a 180, and kioShiMa, for just a brief second, he made that look possible.
Unbelievable last round there. I didn't think he had any chance of getting any, even a frag there, but he finds 2 huge ones. It could have caused a massive upset there. What a half that was. High octane, non-stop action. Envious applying so much pressure early on. Very fast tactics, very unorthodox as well, but here you can see that jumping shot coming down the short. What crazy stuff that is. But overall, fnatic doing well to get the amount of rounds they did, I feel. Like they weren't able to build up any momentum whatsoever, getting 1 round early on in the force spike, and then getting shut out for about 5 or 6 rounds. And then it just seemed like Envious kept changing the pace, and it was very confusing for fnatic to even adapt and get back into that. But 5 rounds is always enough when you're fnatic.
Well, how do fnatic respond to that? A solid pistol will be the best start, as they have to sit and watch this clock tick down. What will go through? What will the in-game leaders be talking? What's pronax mentioning to his team here? So they need to settle down. They realize they're 10-5 down in the first map of the grand finals here.
I don't think they were expecting that initial pace so early on. Like we said, grand final time, you need to start with doing the unexpected. You can't do your traditional playbook. Like we said, these teams have been watching what you've been doing, so that's exactly what Envious did. That was very special to watch, and what a performance with individual skill. Kenny S stepping up on this final stage, getting 14 frags in the first half. He was looking very hot indeed.
A lot of conversation here from Happy's point of view. He's been playing very well. He is at 10 kills, not that far from the scoreboard, but pronax is at 4. It sort of feels like pronax is taking all of his resources and put them into trying to simply outcall Happy and figure out what's going on that Envy side, because he's not had many kills. I think he's super focused. We saw pronax earlier in the tournament with tons of kills, but right now it feels like it's all gone into trying to outcall Happy.
I think they were just trying to adjust early on. We saw actually Olof and pronax on about 0 for 7 each, I think, before they finally arrived on the scoreboard, but it seems like things have calmed down now. There's a nice pause in between that to give them some time to talk about it, but here we go then. fnatic starting on the T-side pistol, 5 rounds for them. Let's take a look at the buy they're getting in. You see armor being brought up with 3 players now, PT50 on flusha, smoke grenade for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if NBS kept the pace up and did a full push themselves and just tried to get that early frag before falling back.
A strong pistol here for Envious would almost wrap the game up, but that is a very aggressive bit of play from Apex. NBK trying to back him up as well, getting around the side, but you could see fnatic, their positions, they were very much ready for that, and they're going to try and pile on down to Cat. They do manage to get NBK down. Happy's trying to hang on in there. They're all going to pass on by. They've all managed to go around. He's behind them. He's got to get the kill. He does manage to get himself one and a second, and that may be enough to slow things down. kioShiMa, the sole man left. pronax just above him. They've got to know his position, but he's going to go for the plant.
There's a bit of a chance for a Kali shot there, but he's going to be walking up. They don't know where he is. pronax spots it. kioShiMa, he can't clutch it. pronax takes him down. What a quick peek, and that's going to be fnatic winning a very critical pistol round.
I'll tell you what, they better be feeling lucky, because if Happy had hit a couple more shots in the back there, that could have been round over. Amazingly exciting stuff there. What a moment that could have been. A fast play from up short from the CTs there. Didn't really lead to much, but Happy playing that so incredibly intelligently, just unfortunately not able to transfer into more frags.
Okay, so Envious trying to stack out a little bit of play there. They had sent 4 originally over towards A side, but I think kioShiMa caught a glimpse there as he passed on by the doors, and they're immediately gone. A fast rotate. Are they going to try and stack it out? kioShiMa gets a little peek, gets the information he requires for his team as Happy tries to come around and back him out, but fnatic, they're very mobile. They're quickly reacting to this and feeling that B side is possibly stacked.
Yeah, very good job indeed. NBK up here with a deagle in hand and looking for a headshot on someone. Going to try and switch it up just a tiny bit. Got to be careful here, fnatic. He's got to get a chance to get at least a couple of shots off. You can duck down behind. That's the first. Second one. pronax is down. NBK still gunning for them. Can he get the kills? Apex shows up. It's a disaster for fnatic. They're running into the French wall, and it's going to be olofmeister gone down. Grenade to the face. flusha is alone. An absolutely cataclysmic round here. Envy, they might just win the map based on this. And flusha, he's trying to fight it back and stay alive. Gets a headshot, but it's too late. They're coming for him, and he's got 20 health. What a round.
What an absolute disaster. Envy have recovered all the rifles as well. You can see the MAC-10 for Kenny, the Galil, the Scout, the AK. That has just gone horribly, horribly wrong for fnatic.
The double deagle from short. Look at this in a grand final. That is absolutely insane. And the way fnatic approached that, they had nades to play with, but they had a Molotov as well. The normal thing to do before going onto the site, especially on an anti-eco, Molotov the site before you execute that. At least that cancels that pressure. But a little bit of nerves from fnatic being shown there, but they will have to be on a full eco now. Even just one P250, no utility to play with. So all of a sudden, Envious, again, looking very strong going into the second half.
How do they settle their nerves after a play like that? Happy going looking for kills. He's got himself the FAMAS, and JW is going to be the man that will come around the corner. We'll get a good tag down on him, and olofmeister also picked off. They're going to keep on challenging him, but Happy's not worried. It's in-game leader versus in-game leader. pronax will back away. Happy's forced away. He will get taken down, and now we're going to see also Kenny S getting involved. flusha down low will get caught out. Apex comes in, and it is 12-6. Envious with a very good lead now. The economy is starting to settle on the CT side already, and that's going to be a big worry. fnatic coming into this one, buying what they can.
Yeah, but I'm still a little bit flabbergasted by the last round. There was so much time on the board, and they just didn't have to commit to that. A big mistake made with them, but they will force their way into this one. A Galil there, AK's not a full buy, and no head armor as well on 3 of the players. That can be very important going up against CTs, but here we go then. The Terrors making their way out long, but they won't have any contention whatsoever.
No, look at Kenny pushing into the middle with the AWP. What is this? pronax is about to be sandwiched. Are they going to actually check for him? He's still hiding there. kioShiMa going to find him, and that's a big opening frag. pronax gone down. They have long control. Yes, they're going to walk back in here. KRIMZ fighting Apex. He's going to miss a big opportunity, but there it comes. And NBK going down to flusha. So now we're back into a 4v3. A very confusing round. This is just a clear indication there's so much going on. No team wants to play predictably, and Kenny goes down. JW with a shot to the face, and it's olofmeister to take out Happy, leading kioShiMa 1v3.
One flash left is all that flusha has, and kioShiMa with the full assortment of grenades. He's going to have to make use of them here because flusha is pushing up behind him. Is he going to get caught out from behind? Yes, he is, and flusha is there. And as you mentioned, what a confusing round. That was the T-side defense,
The rule
effectively.
book of CS has been thrown out the window for this game. No one's really conforming to any sort of meta right now. They're running around, they're trying to surprise the other enemy as much as they can, and they're not even finding each other. It's absolutely pandemonium on the server right now. 12-7 in favor of Envious, but full buys once again. Have a little bit of a force buy from kioShiMa as well, and it seems like they've got a deagle on him. So let's see this one goes down. Maybe a slower pace now from fnatic.
Well, what will they respond to this one? fnatic. There's got to be a little confidence boost, especially after that eco that caught them off, caught them napping, caught them completely out and caught them cold. Envious gonna hold steady here. They have got themselves a bit of a mishmash themselves. kioShiMa, just that deagle, but he's all the way over in the back of B site. fnatic aren't really too worried about him just yet. It's looking like they're gonna gain a bit of mid-control as pronax goes for a little look here. Kenny S is holding the angle. He's got to be careful. Are they going to be expecting the AWP? That's the question. Does manage to land the shot, but doesn't get the kill. As Happy covers his retreat.
Very safe setup there, especially with the flashbang. I really do like that. You're already safe just jumping away, but they're expecting fnatic to be very aggressive and they don't want to take any risks here. Now there's only about 40 seconds left, and are they going to really flash Happy through? Yes, they will, and it's going to be a kill on flusha. Next in line, Kenny to help out. What a great combination. Defense there up on catwalk, almost impossible to deal with. And the bomb is trapped up there. 25 seconds. They're going to go for it. It's a 5v3. They pick it up and they run back down middle, but Apex sees it right now. Envy, they know everything.
It might not have been worth going into the B bomb site. They know they've been spotted 15 seconds on the board. What's the reaction for kioShiMa?
Peekaboo is all it needs, and kioShiMa gets himself the initial entry straight away. olofmeister! And NBK from behind. Oh my word. Envious. They are cruising at the moment. 13-7, just 3 rounds remain. That's all they need. And once again, the economy of fnatic is in tatters.
Yeah, that's what happens when you win a round and lose the subsequent after that. That was a really nice play from Envious. This is the moment here. They saw there's about 40 seconds on the clock. They could feel the round building up. Happy flash through, makes 2 huge frags and spots the bomb as well. They then saw the bomb rotating and they managed to get themselves in a really good position. Fast executing now, coming out along.
Yeah, almost blocking each other there, but a good grenade takes down KRIMZ there. That was Kenny and NBK teaming up. And with no body armor, those grenades are going to do a lot of damage. NBK landing some good spray. And this is a clean-up round from Envy. They're about to be at 14. And fnatic, half of that on 7.
NBK finds flusha. pronax down in pit. The last man and the nade will come rolling on down to make fnatic have a serious problem. They've called for a pause here, but honestly, it feels like it's a little too late. They will have themselves pretty much a rifle round. There's still a little short because there's just a lack of kills going from fnatic. It's only 3k for both Olof and flusha.
They have to buy in this situation. They can't allow Envious to get to match point when there's so many rounds left. So they are going to buy. They just need to work out what they're going to do with it. We've seen so much aggression from Envious and then a lot of passive rounds as well. They've been very hard to predict. There's been so many crazy plays coming in from either side, but now Envious looking strong. They've got full rifles and the AWP as well, but let's see how this one goes down. This is could potentially put Envious in touching distance of Vamp number 2 here, so interesting round.
I really feel like fnatic are playing more safely than we'd normally see them do, and I think that might be a problem. You can also tell that Envy are constantly expecting more aggression out of fnatic, and I feel like sometimes the Swedish team right now, they slow down just a little bit too much, and Envy are allowed to set up, like we saw the last round, that counter pop flash into catwalk. They're allowed to have just an extra, we're not talking much, but an extra 5 seconds to think about what the next play is. And normally fnatic are the ones controlling the pace of the game, but they're not doing that right now.
It'll be interesting to see where Kenny S goes this round. They've been keeping it random and dynamic almost every single time. This is another time to do it. They know the reaction's coming in, the pause is there. What can they do to actually counter this? There's going to be a big play. I would imagine a set piece from fnatic now. They need to try something a little bit different, get onto the site, get a bomb down, force a post-plant situation. We can see there the Galils are coming in, 3 AKs as well, but they have got a decent amount of grenades to play with.
This is the round that counts for fnatic. Timeout, has it done? It's what it's required, that's the question. We are about to get underway. It did last game, it absolutely worked wonders, and olofmeister said that just as much in the interview. It's like, I was worried up until the pause, and that's perhaps what they need to do, but they are going to have to go on a tear to try and turn this around. NB just 1 round away from match point. And they are trying to switch things up themselves there. Kenny looking for the peak and going aggressive once again. flusha and pronax, though, are quickly taking advantage of this one. They're out and long A. Apex and Kenny, they're all the way up in mid.
Great double push here, but Apex will go down. pronax turning around and picking up that kill, and Kenny's now kind of stuck in
Where's
the
he
middle.
going?
Weirdly, I don't know, he's got an AWP, gets a shot on pronax, and he's trying to fall back. They should be able to punish him, but they're just not feeling it, Fnatic. They're not quick enough here, and now kioShiMa up on the plateau. He will be dropped. NBK, he's now showing up in the doorway. There's going to be a smoke to block him off. It's a 2v3, and they're just now heading into the bomb side. There's only a single flashbang here on Kenny for the retake of Envy, but look at this spray through, almost dropping JW. The bomb, it's being put down, yes, but how tough is it going to be for Fnatic to actually keep this bomb side?
They heard the plan, Happy, tried to go aggressive, tried to rattle the shots through, but as you saw, NBK, he's going full on. He's just ready to pounce on through, and why would they slow down? There's the flash, that's going to catch KRIMZ out. They're going to push on through. NBK gets one, but KRIMZ with a spray down. He gets himself the triple, and Fnatic are not done yet.
Can you believe it? What a spray down that was. It looked like he had absolutely no chance of those flashbangs. Comes back and gets a 4-man just when Fnatic needed it. Look at this, it's absolutely insane. What a play. That is a big stage play, and KRIMZ playing out of his mind there. So the reaction from EnVyUs was to push up middle and cause chaos. And once again, it worked, and they got us to a 4-on-2, but what a round that was again.
I mean, if this comeback happens, then that has to be the catalyst right there. You can't see that as a teammate and not be inspired to try and see if you can follow it up. A very aggressive push into middle here. Fnatic, there's the change of pace that we were just talking about. They're coming in. Apex, now he realizes, we're ready to do kioShiMa. He's looking the other way. He's going to go down, and Apex Kitty spray down one he can. It's a 2-for-1 trade, but he's solo on health, and flusha will take him out. And now 3v3 retake, and Envy, they're not that close to the bomb side. As it goes down here, this retake's going to be much tougher than last time.
No kits in hand either. They're going to have to make a decision here whether it's going to be worth it.
NBK coming from tunnels. They're in position to go for this, but the question is, have they got the time? And NBK gets a little peek. I think he maybe just checking for flusha. That single little tap, if it lands, there's the flash. He's going to push on through, but I don't think he's going to be expecting KRIMZ around the corner. He finds JW, he finds flusha, but he doesn't manage to land the clean shot. Now KRIMZ, is he going to come to the rescue once again? It doesn't matter, flusha's in the corner. Fnatic close out the round. It was so close though. They are just hanging on by a thread.
Such a close round here. That retake, when they've got the EnVyUs have got enough rounds here, I'd have liked them actually to save those guns, take it into the next, and use that economy going into this round. But now it looks like they'd have to be onto a full eco here. And pronax predicting that as well. You can see him getting the SL and olofmeister as well, getting the SMGs out, allows them to kind of scout out the map, see what's going on, and get information as to what the CT setup is presenting to them.
If you think you're playing against a round where they might be tempted to stack up somewhere, it's great to have that 1-max 10. What a shot there. KRIMZ getting executed outside of the B bomb site, and there's a good grenade on Apex, will shut him down. And I like the fact that pronax leading the charge. If he drops the Mag 10, so what? Well, not a big giveaway, but maybe they found out where the stack is. In return, they found an MTB bomb site after a couple of kills.
NBK's hunted JW down. That's an AWP in the hands now. It could be passed across the Kenny as he's making tracks, so anything will work out for EnVyUs. They have plenty of rounds to play with still. Fnatic will close this one out, but they need to make sure they don't lose any more rifles. Their economy is not exactly the cleanest right now.
But now getting into double digits. This is the danger point where they feel they know who they're up against. The king of comebacks, we saw it before. I've got a feeling they may be able to do this. This is going to be a really exciting finish to this map. And we will save the AWP on Kenny S there, but looking at the economy of the rest of the team, they will have enough to buy next round, but it's very important they do save that AWP.
They're going to be able to do that as well. Kenny all the way up in the terrorist spawn here, and that is a big giveaway. Put a rifle in the hands of Kenny like this, and you really never know what might happen.
Well, we've seen some very aggressive rounds, we've seen some very passive ones. I'd like to see EnVyUs just play back a little bit. Instead of taking the game to Fnatic and allowing them to get early frags, just hold back and force Fnatic into an execute. You see Kenny is changing his position now. He's going to go towards long and see what he can get there, but he won't have any T towards him. We can see all of them heading towards the B tunnels.
This is a speedy little train from Fnatic, and you know what? It's worked the last 2 rounds. Why not try it again? But Apex and kioShiMa are yet to go down. They do get themselves 1 and a second. kioShiMa going big for his team when it counts. flusha and JW, they're caught in the corner. Happy gets another. He tries to go through the smoke, and Envy managed to take it to match point without losing a single man.
I assume they thought the CT economy wouldn't be fantastic. A B rush, try and get the early frag, but not even making one single kill there. just destroys their economy. You can see we're on the match point now for Envious, and have a look over there. Just going to be pistols and one AK in their hands. We can see flusha maybe able to buy one as well, but what a fantastic round from Envious. They really are in a strong position now, and it looks like another fast play coming from Fnatic.
Yeah, they're coming out long here. NBK, Kenny are both there. And a bit of a smoke going up already back in the bomb side. They don't feel any temptation to try and fight it. They just want to play this one safely and not give anything easily to Fnatic, who are still being very fast, and NBK going down. This might be on Kenny. He's got the AWP. He's in a good position, but already very low on health. Molotov to block out the bomb side, and Apex with a shot on pronax. A follow-up headshot before he drops. And Kenny trying to keep himself alive, but they're coming up long. It's olofmeister. KRIMZ gets the shot, and it's a 2v2. And definitely Fnatic, they can extend this series a little bit longer here. olofmeister gets a shot on Happy, and now it's kioShiMa in a 1v2. He's running up catwalk. He's got a lot of time here with the kit, with the flashbang, and with Olof very low on health. He's looking for the shot. He's jumping, and he gets it. Oh no, that's ridiculous. And now it's all on KRIMZ. In a 1v2 here. He's got a massive health advantage, but kioShiMa, can he do it? He's down in the pit. He's jumping again and shooting, and KRIMZ, just one bullet is going to be enough. Can he get it? He should get it. Just 9 left in the magazine here for kioShiMa. That bomb taking away, and this might not be enough. KRIMZ, I think he's stalled for enough time. Kio going to go down. A triple kill here for the Swedish player. And a little bit more for Fnatic.
Can you believe it? The Hail Mary play running out long with the pistols and a couple of rifles actually works out for them. And of course it does. It's Fnatic. They're never going to give up in this situation. And they buy themselves another life here and get a step closer. 4 rounds required to tie this one up. But you can see the money's still bad in their game. The scout coming up for flusha, but it's going to be a scout and NBK too. But Kenny does retain the AWP, and he will be facing as well. Narrowly misses out on the shot there.
So close. Now we're going to see aggression once again. Apex is just pushing straight through tunnels. He's going to check out. He's going to get around the backside of KRIMZ if he looks across the side, but KRIMZ spins around and gets himself the kill. A side wide open. JW making his way across there, and that smoke will keep Envious out of play. And remember, their economy is also in a poor shape, and this is suddenly turning very much in Fnatic's favor, despite the fact it's Envy on match point.
Oh, flusha, he missed that peek with just a pixel. He doesn't realize that kioShiMa's right in front of him. And kioShiMa, I think you heard that grenade. He's going to go with the FAMAS and take him out. Happy with the kill as well. Oh no, they're very far away from the site, and that's the one thing that's keeping Fnatic safe here. If those 2 kills had happened closer to the site, that could have been very scary.
Once they got the bomb down, it seemed like they were in a safe position, and Kenny S once again trying to save his AWP. He's going to be towards C-spawn though, just hoping he can be gifted this one. But taking a look at their money as well, they may be in a very difficult situation. They have about $1,900 each going into the next round, so he wants to make sure he can keep this just to have a chance to give us some frags, but he's not done yet. He takes down JW, and will he be able to find another frag, or will he be taken down? Time will tell.
Oh no! Kenny's AWP goes down. Thought he'd managed to linger in that smoke long enough, but pronax hunts him down, and that is absolutely massive as well, because Envy now on a save, and Fnatic, he could be dragging this to overtime. I think Envy are going to get 1 rifle round left.
Yeah, just got to take this round by round. Fnatic doing so much to get back into this series. I can't believe it, but it looks like they'll be... Oh, this stack from the CT zone. This could be it.
If they really push long into this stack, that will be...
Oh my God, it's
a little bit interesting. They roll around the corner. They've got no flashbangs. There's the one actually. Kenny, he goes down. Olof with the follow-up kill. They should be falling back. They must realize they're all here now, and Fnatic are still fighting, even though they don't need to. They are coming out on top, but this is a big risk to take right here. JW gonna go down as well. What is going on here, Lee?
You can't ask aggressive players to not be aggressive when they have rifles versus pistols. They just don't want any of it, but it is... Common sense has finally run true for Fnatic, and KRIMZ and flusha do make their way to B site. They will get the plant down, and Envy, well, they've managed to rescue 2 AKs. I was talking about how their economy is in trouble. Keeping hold of these 2 AKs will be pretty big for them going into the next round.
Absolutely. Now looking at the 15-13, it's going to be very difficult now. This is when the pressure comes in. Can they handle it? Can they hold on? Fnatic, 2 more required here, but this is the grand final we wanted. It's going right down to the wire.
I mean, it had a terrific start, and I think it hasn't really let off since. We started at a very, very high level, and it's kept going on. And it's only the first map here. If Fnatic make this into overtime, I don't know what will happen. We'll end up in a situation where fatigue is also going to be a factor. How long can you keep performing at such a high level?
That is the question. Here we go. Envious. It's now or never. They could be staring at a potential overtime. Fnatic from 15-9. I believe they've managed to claw this back. Incredible stuff.
JW has got that long spawn again. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes for a double ore for them as well. He's going to have contention. This frag could be massive.
Managed to land it, gets flashed out, tries to go for the chance, but Happy's going to get the spray down in the end, and JW getting a second peek. Maybe a little greedy, trying to get something through the smoke, but it doesn't work out, and Happy will rotate back.
Bomb all the way in top middle, so a very clear indication here for Fnatic that they want to wait and see. This is the default spread on Dust 2. They don't want to lose the 29th round in the first map here to someone sneaking up behind them. That would be the worst feeling. They want to make sure that Envy are far back and defensive, and then they'll go for a play. They've got 2 smokes, 3 smokes in fact, and 2 Molotovs. Very important with these Molotovs if you're going to execute on the A-bomb side to flush out anyone who's there. But look at Kenny pushing through. He goes down to Olof. How does that work? He gets that shot, and this might happen for Fnatic.
That's a good molly. That's going to slow them down, but Olof's going to push on through, and then that's going to catch NBK out. He's the man in the cross, but he's been flashed out. Apex is going to join them, but Olof's already in position. Now the rest of the Fnatic, they're starting to push on, but the rotate, the counter, the fake, it's all working out, and it's Olof absolutely pulling the strings around the back. JW's going to head back towards A site and completely keep Envious away from this one. 15-14 looks almost guaranteed here, ladies and gentlemen. Apex and Kio, they can't go for it.
So we saw olofmeister again. The Envious went for the push on short with the flashbang. He took down a no-scope and then just opened up the bomb site completely. Fantastic stuff for him. 3 frags and what a performance. We know he is one of the best players in the world, but kioShiMa desperately trying to stay alive now. He knows how important it is to save this rifle.
They've got nothing if this goes down, and it will go down. It's pronax to pick up the kill. We're gonna go to the 30th round here. 14-15, and the economy on Envy, well, they've got 2 people who can buy reasonably, and the West, they're gonna have to try and see if they can keep up here. What a match.
We have to think back to that round of KRIMZ on the B-bomb side, the 4-on-1 situation where maybe they were being a little bit too cavalier with their retake onto the B side. Maybe this has come back to haunt them now as we go into the 30th round.
You've got to think back, 7 rounds in, olofmeister, not a single kill on the board, and here he's standing at about to hit 20. It's an incredible turnaround, and when players like that do step up, Fnatic absolutely respond. Now, final round of regular time. Will Fnatic do it? Will they take it to overtime in what looked like an unwinnable situation, or will Envious finally close out this match? They are understandably playing it very cautiously.
Nothing being shown right now for Envy. They're not giving up any easy kills. At the same time, they're also allowing Fnatic to control the pace of the game, which is what they weren't doing earlier that led them so many rounds. A good little trick smoke here for olofmeister to try and peek through, and Happy. He's feeling very tempted, but he's gonna be a little bit patient and ends up falling back at now 45 seconds here. And the bomb is still in T-spawn with flusha.
This is very clever actually from Envious. They're not giving any information away whatsoever. You can see the terrorists desperately just trying to find a kill here just to open it up and work out what's going on. But it's not going to happen for them. The CTs are playing so passively.
flusha's making his way with the bomb over to B site. I think Olof's going to be the man that sells a gigantic fake here. kio's going to try and rotate, but he's going to run in headlong straight into KRIMZ. KRIMZ will cut him out. pronax and flusha. Apex is left alone over on B site now, but they're not smoking because flusha doesn't want to choose to throw it down. He's all the way over in tunnels, but it doesn't matter when they're landing shots like this. Apex is trying to stop them, but it's not going to happen. It will be overtime in the first map of the grand finals.
I can't believe it. How has this happened? They were so far away from this, and the euphoria they must be feeling right now after getting back into this. And it came down to some amazing situations. Like I said, the rule book of CS is being thrown out the window here. So many unexplainable rounds going on. It was been an absolutely fantastic opening to this grand final.
I feel like for anyone who's also a veteran of watching Global Offensive, maybe especially, there's so many tiny signs and signals that they're playing at a completely different level right now. You saw JW in the middle actually going for the pre-fire AWP shot on the right-hand side of the door. He didn't even wait for them to cross. He wanted for them to try and set up and just shoot them as they were crossing. There's so many little things that you almost never see in regular play or in normal situations. Yeah. What a game this is. Now, Henry, I've got to ask you, how does overtime differ from regulation? How is this going to affect the players?
Well, this is going to put fnatic in a fantastic situation. Envious is going to be so frustrated with that after having such a huge lead there and throwing it away towards the end, especially with some really questionable rounds. We mentioned that 4-on-1 situation with KRIMZ as well. We didn't ever see it coming this far, but everything's reset now, and fnatic know they're in the driving seat. The momentum shifted in their favour, and Envious need to work out what went wrong for them there and why they got shut out. Towards the end, it was absolutely crazy. So many force buys going in favour of fnatic. We kind of just thought, okay, they've got one more round on the board. It's going to be end of the next one, but it never happened. fnatic has kept the pressure on, and amazing scenes here. And this is exactly what we wanted.
This is indeed what we wanted, and for a moment we thought it was going to be a quick done deal on the first map, but how wrong were we at the 10-5 first half. fnatic, again, the pause, it rings true. Whatever pronax comes up with in that pause time must be absolute magical words. That guy needs to run on and start managing Real Madrid.
It's a great synergy between the players. Vugo in the background there talking to pronax. They really come up with some good stuff, and they have a lot of resources in play on the fnatic team to try and figure out exactly what's happening. We've got the overtime. They start with $10,000 now. They need to get 4 rounds in total here to win. We're looking for the first team to 19 rounds, and they'll be taking dust too. Interesting that neither have gone for the double upsetter, which most of them were running throughout, so clearly worried about that economical problem if they lose that round.
Both players getting tagged there. You can see JW and NBK taking damage here. Big aggression at the start of this round, and here we go then. Kenny S actually getting tagged as well. This is an interesting start to the round.
olofmeister getting the grenade thrown straight on towards kioShiMa as well, so a lot of damage being dished out by fnatic, but as of yet, no opener going in their favour. It's looking like it may well be an A hit. olofmeister trying to sell a flake. It's something he does quite regularly, and it's going to be all on NBK here.
This is not a comfortable position to be in. When they all come around this corner, NBK on 16 health. When he goes down, Kenny's going to get smoked off, and Happy will be very much alone in that bomb site. This could all rest on one person. He makes the jump. He's going to try and buy time with his flashbang. It's up once, but they're all coming mid-air shot, and NBK is down, and there's 40 seconds left. fnatic, they actually do slow it down. They want to see if Envy are going to make any kind of mistake, and it could be Kenny pushing out on long here.
They switch positions quickly there. Happy runs straight over to short. Kenny is hopping himself up on top of the boxes to get himself a look down long. They knew they really wanted to get an early frag before they managed to get in position, but they're going to be piling around the corner. Happy's going to have to get in position. Kenny manages to find one. Apex is just below, but olofmeister and flusha will manage to cut them down, and Apex has to wait in the smoke. It looks like they're going to backtrack away. Envy going for the save. It's fnatic that take the first round in overtime.
Interesting decision, like you said, Anders, for NBK to even stay in that position. Once he lost the long control there, that's where the round fell apart with the CTs. It enables them to pinch the bomb side like you saw there, and they're so isolated on the bomb side as well. It's very difficult to hold that. Kenny S doing everything he could on the side, but he only got one frag before he got taken down.
I've got a lot of admiration for the way that fnatic are playing right now as well. The patience and the overall team control to get the frag that quickly and then not just try and speed up behind it. With only 40 seconds left, that's a huge temptation. A good kill from kioShiMa there. And again, because Envy are playing the CT side, their rifles are more expensive. They only have 10,000 starting money. In 3 rounds, you can use all that money. So they've got to save some rifles here. It's really key that they do it.
Yeah, especially, like, you may think 10k is enough, but going into that 3rd round, if you lose 2 rounds, you're going to be on an eco. So it is a good idea to save rifles. We can see Kenny S answering back to the AWP again, but we have got that long spawn, and will they be taking it? It's going to be flusha leading the charge now to the long area.
It's Kenny S that's going to be lining up the shot, quickly flashed out. flusha already through, and that nade coming straight on towards olofmeister, but flusha already through. Kenny and NBK holding the angle around the smoke. NBK checks, but flusha gets the spray down, and that start things off well. And now Kenny is in a really tricky situation. He's got 3 members pushing him in pit.
Yeah, but coming up from Catwalk, it's JW, and as Kenny goes down, they already have the A bomb site. Apex is running up, and he has no idea he's going to get sprayed down. JW, a moment of hesitation there, but it comes through. And once again, Envy, they can't even dream of retaking here. That's twice now that they have to give it up before it even really unfolds. fnatic, they're playing godlike CS here at the moment. KRIMZ going to walk right in there, and Happy actually finds that kill in spite of the odds.
We need to remember that both these teams in regular time did have a higher T-side ratio, 10-5 both the scores, so Envy's still going to be in a little bit of trouble coming into this third and final round of their extra time half.
So a very big spawn-based game being played here. We saw flusha getting that nice spawn, they're taking it into long. They got the first 2 frags again, and that enabled JW just to run onto the side. That pincer action again. The CT's desperately trying to retake from CT spawn, but wasn't meant to be, and they actually will lose the kill there on kioShiMa. Happy, the last man remaining, will save a gun. And this is the situation we're talking about. Going into that third round, it's very difficult when you're buying AWPs and rifles every single time to actually have a full buy going into this final round.
Was that D-Man a last nanosecond kill? And look at the guns for AWPs. Fnatic, they're ready to shoot some ducks as they cross the middle. It's going to be a challenge, and Apex, not in this lifetime. He is destroyed.
Well, when they're lining up like that, you know you're in trouble. JW already in sight, spray down through the door, catches Kyo. That grenade's going to rattle through, and this is sheer confidence from Fnatic, sheer aggression being unanswered by Envious. kioShiMa gets himself the orb. Can he make some work from this one? pronax around the side will manage to catch him with the AK, and KRIMZ and NBK is all that stands, but Fnatic will be closing out the half. Oh, hello, NBK is not done yet.
What is this madness? How is this round not done for Envy? I don't understand. NBK, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here. He's gonna run through with the dig, looking for the shot, but he can't make it. He's gonna get shot down by flusha. 18-15, a single round for Fnatic, and we'll have seen one of the most ridiculous comebacks ever in a major tournament here, into overtime and potentially into victory. And look at what Apex sees here. Instant death.
It's a viable thing to do on the overtime rides. They've obviously got excess cash, so just going for that initial kill through the doors there allows them to drop the AWPs and go into something very fast from there. So they did that, got the initial frag, and then they pushed into B straight after.
Well, what a first half of overtime.
What a game it's been overall.
Envy need to just reset, get themselves back together, because they need to remember the fantastic T-side they had. But that was 18 rounds ago, and things have gone a little awry since then. Fnatic have found their form, they're hitting their strides, and just about everybody's starting to perform. pronax up to almost 20 kills now, and olofmeister alongside him. Both these guys were on 0 8 rounds in.
D-Man and Henry, when you woke up this morning, there's that tiny hope for this kind of game. You hope for it, but when it comes,
you hope and dream for this.
Yeah, it's still surprising, isn't it? I can't believe that we're in this situation right here. Another 35 seconds here, Henry, and we'll get a chance to see if Envy can force it into double overtime. You did point out, D-Man, they got most of the rounds on the T side. It's not impossible.
It's definitely not impossible. I think the impossible has been shown on this map more than once. We've seen some absolutely insane rounds coming to it, and Fnatic just playing at champion status and showing why they are the world's #1 team. You can never count them out of any situation, and they go 3-0 up in the first half of overtime now. Obviously, Envy has got a huge amount of time going onto the T side now. We saw them doing a very fast-paced game themselves, going into almost every round, taking spawn base as well. The first gun round they actually took was just rushing up short with 5 players. That's not very traditional, really, in terms of CS. You don't normally want to choose that area to rush up, but this game has proven to be anything but traditional.
Well, Fnatic and Envy both going to be starting off the round with double orbs. This is a sign of intent from both teams. Fnatic just need the one. Envy, they are done and dusted without, so why not go for it? Roll of the dice time.
Yeah, a bit of a fast move here towards B, but they run into a Molotov, and that might have persuaded them to change their mind. JW up on catwalk to take down Apex. A very strong opening frag that's going to get Fnatic one step closer to winning the first map here. They need another 4 kills, and they will have done it. NBK also tagged up a bit, but Kenny with the reply, it's ridiculous. He hits the headshot on JW, and now we're going to be in a 4v4.
KRIMZ still holding this angle. olofmeister, do you see over on B? Looks like Happy might actually think about going for the challenge here, and Olof, not in his lifetime will he allow that shot to push on through. flusha will be so vital. KRIMZ is in a perfect position as well. They have a great little crossfire. NBK gets one, but they don't count for flusha to still be there. KRIMZ just smokes him off, but flusha's not having any of it. He's going to push on through. He's going to gun down Kenny, and kioShiMa now all alive into the crosshairs of olofmeister. Just lines up the shot, gets the support of flusha, and this will be Fnatic taking map 1 on Dust 2, 19-15.
We saw JW there pushing onto shore the last round. He knew he needed to make something happen, finds that kill and lower B. But this just shows you how equally skilled these teams are. keniEsh replying straight back in there. Such a back and forth round, but fnatic take map number 1, and what a story it's been.
Wow, that might have been the first time I've seen a really emotional reaction from fnatic like that. They definitely felt the pressure of playing on this stage in a game where they were so far behind. An absolutely epic comeback here from fnatic.
Absolutely. What was it, 15-8 at one stage, and they got back into it. We saw some ridiculous 4-on-1 situations. We saw rushes almost every single round. They're trying to adapt to each other by pushing up the CT middle and actually not finding anyone because the rush has gone on the other side of the map. It was crazy rounds.
And things like that happen to champions. And fnatic, if anything, have proven they are champions. They are chasing their 3rd major title here, and they are now 1 map away from collecting victory here. It's the ESL One in Cologne. They are looking to etch their name on that trophy, and honestly, it's very hard to bet against them right now.
I don't know what to say. All tournament long, we've seen the NBF be almost impossible to break, but it feels like fnatic may have done it. I'm really curious about how the Frenchmen are going to come back, if they can mentally reset themselves in the time we have between the first and the second map here.
Yeah, so going into that overtime, we saw them. We
Before coming into the game, he had a vision, and the vision was timeout.
It's true.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean,
No, let's not talk. Let's forget about it. Yeah, let's never mention that again.
I mean, fnatic are just they're almost like the Counter-Strike gods. They're like the top of the top tier of the top tier, because just that comeback is just amazing. Everything going against them, they were getting crushed for so long. Envy had all the momentum. They were just bullying their way. It was no respect. And in the middle of the match, fnatic forces Envy into a slower pace, forces them to respect them.
Exactly, and like we were joking about when we were watching the game, they entered the danger zone because that's when fnatic get dangerous. That's when like Envy as a new team and as a fresh team and a team that heavily relies on frags, if they lose that momentum and it turns into a grind game, we saw exactly what happened to Virtus Pro in the semifinals. fnatic, that's where they thrive. They're used to these sorts of situations, battling back from behind. They will just go round after round after round, as we saw here. I mean, 10-15 to score and fnatic go 9 rounds in a row, and that's what this team is capable of. This is why, for the longest time, they were the best team in the world.
That's perfectly said, because it went from Envious rushing up middle as CT to all of a sudden being insanely passive, because oh, fnatic won once on us being aggressive. We just have to play it passive and save, boys. Yeah. We got this in our pockets. All of a sudden, you know, the comeback is just real. The money is just building upon fnatic, and it was some very shady bias coming in from Envious as well. We were addressing maybe they just need that Orban Kenny, but even that in the overtime just wasn't strong enough.
I mean, that 4-kill for me for KRIMZ, yeah, they won like 2 rounds prior to that. But then that one is just, because you saw how down fnatic were. Again, coming in from a very tough game versus Virtus Pro. In here, we were talking about Envious getting probably the momentum in the beginning of the game. But a round like that will give the whole team more energy, and like the whole thing is like if he can do it, so can I. And then all of a sudden, I don't think Olof had a single frag for the first 7 rounds.
Yeah.
And then after that, he started pushing up, and obviously he got activated as well. And this is the turning point. You saw that as well in the VP game with fnatic. He had a very poor showing on Mirage. They ended up losing that, and then he started being activated, and that's when fnatic started winning. They need olofmeister to be on the server.
Well, now we're moving on to Cobblestone, and I mean, just even even if you don't know the game that well, just looking after that game, you're thinking Fnatic looking way stronger mentally. EnVyUs not able to control their momentum there. And EnVyUs does get to start CT here on Cobble, but we've also seen throughout this week that some teams actually seem to perform better on the T side on Cobble. What are your thoughts, initial just summaries real quick before we jump into map number 2?
I would say in general, between teams of this caliber and with the playstyle they have, a lot of maps actually gets kind of terrorist-sided because they have so many force buys, they're pressuring the CT economy to so many ecos and shady buys, and especially on Cobble where you can just utilize the close, narrow angles with the Tech 9s, etc.
Exactly.
It's just going to be strong for the Terra staff. I feel like it's looking very good for Fnatic.
Yeah, I think with losing Dust 2 that Fnatic is going to take this 2-0 now. I think that pretty much seals it. I think they're just too good on Cobble. Especially you got to think with a new team that's just been put together, one of their biggest weaknesses is going to be that map pool. Haven't had as much time to go over all the maps as in depth, get all the experience on it as a 5-man team, and I think Fnatic, they just showed they can stop anything that Envy throws at them.
Do you think that it's possible, though, that because Fnatic just played Cobble versus Virtus Pro, and a few of the Envy players were just sitting right here, you know that they're downloading everything that they see. Is pronax going to be versatile enough to be able to change up the game to catch Envy off guard, or is it just like, okay, Olof, JW, go, just go?
It's probably a little bit of both. I think there's a little bit of that fear of Olof in Envy now. I mean, he went nuts there towards the end of that Dust 2 match.
Sure.
KRIMZ got him right back into it. KRIMZ stopped that momentum, and Olof carried it the rest of the way.
Fifth, what do you think about this matchup?
I mean, considering the 3 Envy players that has actually won a major, I don't think this will be a concern to them. keniAS and Apex once again, but keniAS, he played great on that Dust 2 game, but I wonder if things going to get to his head now. Coming into the second one, it's like, oh, if I lose this, I'm not going to get a chance to be a major title holder. Just to point out, though, the former LDLC roster used to be great on Cobblestone. And if they had any chance on playing this at all now, because Apex used to be a god on this map, he just went ham, and kioShiMa as well. And then you also have keniAS now opping on both the T side and the CT side. If anything, if they end up stacking the B bomb side, keniAS can just have control over the whole A area CT and just rely heavily on the heavy rotation coming in and just try to keep the B side on lockdown. So I wouldn't count Envy out as of yet.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that because Moses speaking too much logic here and just talking about not seeing a third map. I mean, everyone wants to see that Inferno get played.
I mean, I'm not counting them out, but the likely. I mean, Fnatic, this is one of their beast mode maps. I mean, I just think all the cards are stacked against Envy at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good that you mentioned Apex, but just like on Dust 2, kioShiMa top fragged on Dust 2 for this team, but on Cobble, he also enters his own element. It is his playground, and if you get that guy in AK, well, things can go, don't you remember that?
I do remember.
Once,
right? I remember
things can go south really quickly.
Yes.
So
I did not have a good time.
We have to keep looking at kioShiMa basically to bring the results here, to lead the charge and continue locking down signs for Envy.
All right, well, one map down, but we'll see is Envy strong enough to fight back on the selection that Fnatic had in the map vetoes and picks. Cobblestone coming up next. Is Fnatic just going to secure it with a 2-0, go for the back-to-back major titles, back-to-back ESL One titles, or will Envy let all of us around the world watch an excellent match on Inferno? Time to find out.
Thank you very much, guys. What a match we just had. How can it be equal? That is the question. Cobblestone is next, and you just heard what all the guys have to say about it. What do you have to say about this one, Henry?
I just think the key thing for EnVyUs here is they need to make sure they don't let anything from the last map come into this one. Obviously, it's going to be very disappointing, and there probably was some bickering towards the end as to what happened there, but you need to pick yourself up, go into the next one. They have got the CT start here on Cobble, so it's a perfect opportunity for them to actually get some momentum on the board. The thing is, though, they're up against Fnatic. We know how strong they can be on that T side. It's going to be very hard to actually shut them out.
I always reckon that it's very easy to convince yourself that, let's forget about the last minute, let's go on right up until you get the result of the pistol round. If you win that pistol round, you're going to get confirmation, it's gone, we're good to go again, let's continue on. If you lose it, then whatever doubts you had from the last round or the last map will start to trickle back in again. So a good, clean start here for Envy, I think is going to be very important. And statistically throughout the tournament, they've not won that many pistol rounds. They're actually quite bad at winning the pistol rounds.
So I'd assume on their CT pistol, it's very important that you actually gain some mid control at the start. You want to try and get information, work out whether the T's are rushing B, a common tactic we normally see.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Map 2, Cobblestone between Envy and Fnatic. It is the ESL One Cologne 2015 Grand Finals. Will Fnatic make it 3 in a row? Or will Envious get themselves their second? It's not 3 in a row, but you know what I mean.
Well, I doubt that they will worry about that as long as they win the titles. I think they're going to be
think they'll care.
just fine with winning 3 majors. That would be sort of a very, very solid statement. And Envy, they've got this one map to try and see if they can deny it on. The crowd is definitely ready here in Lanxess. And it's a fairly quick push right into Kenny's position. He sees them and instantly falls back. He's got just armor and he just tries to see if he can make it back around the corner. And as soon as fnatic are spotted, they actually switch up their style, but happy to take down pronax. And that was a counter boost up into drop zone. Really well played.
That was vital as well, because they were starting to over-rotate to A side, but Happy seeing that one, getting that shot, has given them all the information they need, and the fact he's got himself 3 kills is just about done and dusted. flusha, the last man standing, separated from the bomb, and well, we talked about the pistols for Envy. Looks like they've won this one.
Absolutely fantastic stuff from Happy there. We talked about the long aggression. They did that as well. Got so much information, pushing up there. Happy making 3 huge, important frags there as well. And fnatic just didn't even get a look into that round. Amazing scenes there. So Envious, we talked about them getting that first round pistol, and then they'll be able to carry on some momentum from that. What's the reaction from fnatic? Like, normally we'll see them force buy into these rounds. Looks like they actually won't be doing that without getting a bomb down or anything like that, but we actually call for a freeze time.
Yeah, so we gotta assume that's a tech pause and not a tactical pause. So it doesn't make any sense to do that right away. But great round and a great effort from Happy with those 3 kills. That was very, very important. And even though fnatic, as soon as they got spotted, the fact that Kenny sees 3 of them alone means fnatic sort of, either they catch him straight away and kill him, and that's great, but if they don't do that, when he just runs and doesn't fight them, they kind of have to change.
It's the friendly chicken on screen. Just to point out though, Happy boosting up there, normally most T teams will rush B, so it's such a crazy play to try and boost at that initial round. It's like you normally hold back or stack it, but here we go then. There is the force buy from fnatic, and they make their way towards a B bomb site. Olof, of course, on the upper platform.
Well, NBK has decided to bring the Nova to drop zone, so anybody comes in his direction will get the game on your screen, because kioShiMa's already managed to find one. And if that happens now, I'll be very, very happy, as with all you guys at home. NBK waiting.
Well, a bit of a slowdown here for fnatic, losing the initial frag. They're going to go really fast, so fast that JW takes down pronax in the mix, and that was not part of the plan. They'll drop NBK, so it's not all bad, but still, if they hadn't done that, it would have been 4v4 right now. They pick up that Nova shotgun, and they're going to see if they can make their way towards this B bomb site. Happy's there to stop them first, and flusha going down means Envy have control of the round once again.
Happy trying to line up, but KRIMZ has already managed to try and push through window, but Apex is not going to allow it. JW, the last man, has picked himself up the shotgun from NBK's corpse, but kioShiMa will find him, and that will be, in the end, a solid hold from Envy. But boy, look at that, the hit points 4 and 10 for Kio and Apex could easily have turned the other way.
A promising start for Envious there. 2 clean rounds, no bombs going down either. They know they're up against an almost full eco here. I don't think fnatic can justify buying a single thing here. So you can see 5 Glocks coming in, and it's almost a throwaway round. If they can get a bomb down in any sort of realm, I don't see how it's going to go down, but that's all the objective is going to be. You can see all 5 players now heading towards long A. Kenny S waiting for them though.
Full eco as well from fnatic. It's very rare you see no pistols bought at all, but they're going to push on through. That grenade was fantastic from Kenny. He does go for the spray down, and he's got a Tech 9 to switch to after that Mac 10. And he will manage to get himself a big chunk of kills. Happy finishing things off here. Quick 4K there, and that is just about what you'd like there. It is, of course, an MP9 on a Mac 10.
So the thing is, without getting any bombs down, that means no AWPs for fnatic. That's not necessarily the end of the world, but it means they're going through this round with very limited buy. They won't have absolutely everything available. There won't be a massive amount of Molotovs to flush CTs out, for example.
And my one worry was that the team kill would be what actually denied the AWP, but it wasn't. He would have had $300 more, which would have put him at 4,600. Not enough for an AWP. He's $150 short. But, you know, you always got to look for that. It would be quite a big thing if that team kill was the difference.
Look at Apex going aggressive again, getting a good glimpse around long. Didn't quite catch on flusha, but it was enough to give the information across to his team. Now, they've got to be careful they don't over-rotate on this one. Kio has managed to get himself up on platform. Quick flash to get a glimpse out there as the smoke dissipates, gets a little glimpse into the corner, but doesn't manage to Catch on towards olofmeister, who will manage to find his head, and that's going to open up things on B-side.
Over Apex thinking for the middle, and actually I think flusha's waiting for flusha goes down anyway. He was actually hiding there just to catch that kill. NBK in drop zone, and when that fire disappears, he's going to hear them running away already. He knows that they're going back 8. It's actually a very smart play from fnatic. They're switching it up. Kenny goes down. How do they see this coming? It's all on NBK and Happy. A huge turnaround here. Even with KRIMZ down, this is looking very tough here for the French team. And NBK already down. Pronax, I don't think he realizes just yet, but he's going to be flashed in, and NBK should be going down. He will be going down, and Happy has to run. That was a genius level play from Pronax. What a mid-round call.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic stuff from fnatic. I love it when teams go through connector and get towards A. There's sometimes the CTs get such tunnel vision on the B area because it's contended so highly. They got an early frag there. Apex pushing towards long A as well. There was so much attention elsewhere. They made their way through, but Happy desperately trying to save his AWP now. It's be fantastic if he can do it, but take down JW, but olofmeister finishes them off, and fnatic get their first round on the board. And what a great round it was, just because they had such limited utility available to them. But the CTs, of course, are going to force by. We know no one ever ecos when Envious and fnatic are playing.
Absolutely, never a true word spoken. It does mean that NBK, well, he's gone for a mag 7, but if he takes it to drop, it's perfectly viable for him. And of course, just a FAMAS for Kenny S. But fnatic, have they started as they mean to go on here on the T side? We were talking earlier on of like the bias and which side this is going to be, but Happy getting a glimpse will not be too impressed with being taken apart by Pronax there. We were agreeing that it was a T-side bias. We'll see whether the teams favour it that way.
So we saw Happy there trying to get that early information. He wanted to get that first kill just to secure his team when they've got the low buy here, but unfortunately Pronax ripped it head off his shoulders there and gives them a great position now. They can just take their time and work out what the CT's reaction is to that initial kill.
Very interested about the fact that fnatic aren't playing that plateau that much, especially early in the game here, because later on, if Envy get a good economy, they're gonna have Molotovs to buy even more time. So fnatic might want to use the fact that Envy have fewer grenades now to play that B bomb side, and they are eventually going to end up there. And there's no smokes left, just flashbangs and a single HE here for NBK and kioShiMa to try and stop them. And about 40 seconds here. D-man, this is going to be a very tough defense, I think, for the Frenchman.
It's a big ask for kioShiMa to try and keep them at bay, and well, as soon as JW manages to land that shot, it's a nigh on impossible task. NBK has managed to collect himself the M4 and gets a quick early one there. JW with not a lot of help does manage to find a second. Kenny S is going to join him. He's got a rifle in hand, but that's NBK down now. Pronax catching a glimpse of Kenny's back there. He's going to find KRIMZ around the corner. This is a vital duel to see who will come out on top. It is KRIMZ, and that's going to give Apex some serious problems. I doubt he'll go too aggressive.
He'll just be looking for 1 or 2 frags here. You can see he gets some intel there, but without a defuse kit and a rifle in hand, it's just very difficult prospect to actually even consider taking that bomb site. He will fall back trying to save the gun. NBK actually gave him a window of opportunity there. I'm not sure how he's allowed to get those 2 frags. Once they got the entry onto the B site, they should have just been swarming the bomb site and getting in there. They're a little bit apprehensive to get onto the site, but ultimately fnatic do take the round, albeit 2 frags lost that maybe shouldn't have done, but Apex will be saving a rifle here. We knew the CT economy was low going into that round. It's going to be pretty devastating now. Each player getting $1,400 onto them, but let's see how this one goes down. They do save the rifle there, but Apex saves an M4 going into the 6th round here.
Do you guys feel like maybe the slow pace that fnatic were adopting at the end of Dust 2, they're sort of transferring over to this map on the terror side? They're really not being very fast. They're allowing Envy to just see what happens, and eventually they make up their minds, but it's slow.
Well, so far the frags are coming to them. When Happy's boosting up and giving you his head on a plate, why not just take it and slow down? But now we can see the change of pace. It looks like a full-on B rush coming in for fnatic.
Yeah, they're going to realize pistols is all that Envy will have in hand, and JW just waiting for Keo to make the peak, and it will be a simple kill. And that gives them the opportunity to open things up there. Happy not able to get the close range pistol in this round. Very much in the hands of fnatic, but NBK strikes once again. If he can line up the second on JW, it could have turned it back in their favor, but Apex, the one man with the rifle, lines up, not allowed to take the shot, and fnatic will close this one out with ease, equaling up the rounds. 3 apiece. fnatic starting to hit their stride. Envious need to try and slow them down.
Do you think there was like an instance of instant post-traumatic stress for fnatic as NBK hit the first Eagle shot, sort of like a throwback to Dust 2?
I thought it was going to happen as well. He's so on point with that weapon right now. Seems to find kills out of absolutely nowhere. It's important to note that MVS, again, they're not actually going to have an AWP here. It's going to be another force buy. We can see the lack of Molotovs. We talked about how important those can be on this map, but fnatic, once again, all 4 players heading in, and it seems like JW fancies the pick in the drop-down area.
Apex was with him on NBK as well, though. I thought they were going to go for the counter boost, but the pronax's kill on Happy previously, I think they've thought better of it. But look at this, fnatic. Change of pace here. They've hit B site 3 rounds running. And Envy don't really have a great deal of information here. They have no idea it's happening. olofmeister's selling a great fake. JW, though, with those shots is certainly going to give the game away. And it's keniS and Apex. They're going to try and stop them.
And this is very, very classic fnatic on this map. olofmeister lurking B while the rest of the team is doing something else. This is how they started playing Cobblestone when the changes were made to the map, and they've been doing it a lot ever since. And it works so well because olofmeister has a very scary ability to open up this B bomb site while the rest of the team is maneuvering across the map. You see him sneaking in here at about 40 seconds. He's crept all the way through, checking every angle. 40 seconds left now. He's actually made it down to the low ground. I think he got spotted. NBK to take down KRIMZ, and it's olofmeister dropping Happy, and he goes down, and that's a great turnaround. But pronax, his rates Kenny and Apex both, and it's all on kioShiMa. They make it work. Olof is just enough of a distraction to ruin that A defense, and Kio, he takes one and then he drops, and it's fnatic taking a 4th round.
What an interesting round that was. Olof initially becoming the distraction at the start of the round, but he actually became the backstab. The execution came in once he made his way into the B site, and he saw that drop, and this is the round. pronax, how does he get in that position to find 2 CTs in front of him? Amazing round, but that's the 4th one in a row now for fnatic. You can see Envious struggling after getting the initial pistol.
olofmeister switching over to the Mac 10 here, knowing that Envy are going to be on a save. It's going to be aggression, possibly answered by counter-aggression as Apex looks towards door. flusha is sat ready and waiting there. Not going to get caught off by any close pistol play from Envy. And it's going to be olofmeister that will start things off. Tries to get himself a flash around. Happy. I think he's going to go for a quick glimpse up close. And olofmeister with a flash in hand might have got a chance to get caught out, but not anymore, as Olaf will start things off. He's now into sight, the rogue action in play, but Apex gets one over on doors, but NBK as well. And now this is a tricky 3v3, but there's no rifles to be had yet for Envy.
So olofmeister doing his job perfectly. They're peeling the CTs away from the A bomb site. They've now realized as to what's going on. The bomb makes its way up middle, but the CTs are getting in position, ready for their advance into the bomb site.
Oh, NBK not able to land it. KRIMZ will, and now you've got to feel it's going to be fnatic's round. kioShiMa not letting it go without a fight here. If he can land another quick flick on the head, he may turn it into his favor, but it will be fnatic that close it round. It got a little costly, but in the end, it's the 5th round in a row that fnatic hold.
So a great read by fnatic. They know the economy system in this game, picking up the Mac 10 there, sending Olof in, just trying to work out where the stack may lie. He kills one and works out where the others are. It gives the signal for the other players on the team, to go into the A bomb site. They got in, like you said, very expensive round, but finally keniS has his AWP, and you can see him about to gather information in the middle.
Wow, it's very fast here. See if he can find an opening. Actually instantly flashed back while the rest of the terrorist team is making a play for drop zone, but they're getting smoked off here. Envy blocking in all the entrances. Finally, flusha gonna go down. He tried to get that opening on Kenny and was almost successful, but not quite.
kioShiMa trying to hold Olof Bay here. JW is with him. They've already managed to push on through. Now Olof just gets a peek to the side. He will get a clean shot, but Kio will respond quicker. JW quick with a revenge kill. And now they are going to open up B site. Apex is there, but Happy is still lingering in the smoke. JW gets flashed up at just about the perfect time. pronax drops down on his feet though, and now keniS with that ult with next to no health has to land the shots.
Apex in the smoke. He's going to take down one on pronax, and JW drops it. Apex to save the round here for Envy and KRIMZ, the last man left. No tell, it's a double, it's a triple. He gets 4 kills in the round, and Envy, they bring it back.
How does that happen? Just dancing around the smoke, causing absolute chaos there. 4 frags for him, the newest addition to the roster, and you can see it breaking down here. It's Fnatic had no idea he was there. Now last frag onto KRIMZ as well. Very nice execution. And this is the 4th frag with 6 bullets left in the chamber as well. Nice stuff from him and a perfect way to get them back into this game after a 5-0 deficit.
That is the answer they needed, but they need to be careful they don't lose out this round, or they will be absolutely broke once again. Fnatic are in. That's a double smoke. Possible mistake there from Envy. Nervous play, possibly trying to stop Olof coming into B.
In the 10th round here, and a good strong kill there as Apex goes down, but I actually think Envy are in a good position. I think if the French team get up to 6 or more rounds here, they're feeling very competitive on this particular map. kioShiMa already tagged low a bit here, so Fnatic see if they can extend their lead by getting one more kill. They've still got plenty of time to wait. So NBK is lurking a bit around in middle, trying to find an opening. It seems like they're bringing the bomb a little bit towards that A side of the map.
No more smokes left for Envy, just the flashes. And Fnatic still working their way around as Kenny gets dropped by JW. That's going to open up the A site. NBK on the rotate, but he's going to be a little slow to get there. He does manage to get around the back of the APC. Has to hold them up, gets JW down. Happy comes in, he gets himself one, but olofmeister applies. And now kioShiMa in a 2-on-1, drops straight through. And just to get a glimpse of olofmeister, he knows he's going for the plant, gets one, can't get the second. olofmeister closes the round, but that was very close. But that is going to cause a few problems for Envious once again.
After getting that initial pick as well, we saw Envious on the back foot there, desperate to try and get a kill, but with a man advantage there, Fnatic had the possibility of sending pronax into B by himself, and now this puts Envious in a nightmare situation. After winning one round and losing the subsequent one, you can see they have next to no money here. It's going to have to be almost full eco here with a couple of CZs in hand.
Definitely interested to see that Envy actually continued the rotation towards towards A bomb site, even though it was pronax they killed on the plateau, because normally that'd be olofmeister. So when you get pronax instead, that's a huge sign that something has gone very wrong, but they actually got the right call anyway. Envy, this time, they're getting shot down in that B bomb site. They don't have armor. They've got one flashbang on Apex, and he's very nearly dead.
Yeah, they're not going to get caught out by any pistol play this time around. Envious trying a few little boosts there, but it's getting read very easily by Fnatic, and olofmeister making sure it's a clean round. Apex, the last man standing in no man's land away from the bomb here, just going to try and stick hold of this CZ and see if he can get anything from it. So Fnatic is going to be moving in towards the next round. 7-4 up, they'll be happy with their T-side, but there is plenty more rounds to be had here, and they're going to hope they can get everything away from Envious.
Fnatic is playing a very smart game at the moment. They're making sure they don't give too much away at the start of the round, see if there's a possibility to get a pick towards B, and if not, they focus their attention back to A, leave a lurker into B, keeping the attention there, CT's peeling away, and they make their execute onto the site, and it's very clever. But now they take their 7th round on the board. This is where it gets interesting for Envious, as now, of course, Famas is out. Again, another difficult situation for them. They have managed to get one round on the board since the pistol. It's been a difficult first half for them, actually.
Famas is in the hands of NBK, Kyo and Apex. Buy what you can time for Envious to try and stop the rot that Fnatic are starting. It's olofmeister that's been the problem. Happy's been boosted up this time towards the tree, and Kyo really not being able to stop this platform play that Olof and pronax have been engineering every single round.
Well, there's a pop flash through, allowing Olof to get out on the platform to see if he can once again find an opening. He's got the AK in hand, then a flashbang is going to force back Happy, who's playing on that bomb site, and Olof still looking for that opening. Happy taking the bait, almost walks into the shot, but now they're going to double peek him, and he does go down. Nice shot from Happy, and that's going to give a lot of confidence to Envy. But more than anything, I think they need Kenny to get back in this game here. It's 12 rounds, and he's got 1 kill.
He's absolutely dropped off now, but like you said, they get the advantage, and they need to fall back now, make sure they don't give a frag away, and this is middle advancement from Fnatic.
Apex is going to be pivotal here. They're all going to run straight towards him. pronax goes down, flusha will respond, and JW quickly catches Kenny S. He's not going to get another frag this game. Happy back on site with NBK and Kyo now coming in. Got to try and keep them at bay here. Happy just on site. KRIMZ is going to push on round, but NBK manages to find flusha. Happy gets the spray down. That's the bomb carrier. Now JW trying to rescue his orb, trying to keep it in his hands. He doesn't manage to land the shot, and Happy will reply. And Envious take the round and the orb for Kenny S.
Well, hopefully now they have got the AWP on his hand. we've seen him try to go towards middle and get some information there, and he seems to be getting locked out with the flashbangs and the smokes. Maybe just putting him in the back of B is going to be the most sensible option here. Instead of trying to take the fight to them, just hold back and see for that lurk to come in, and then he can control the bomb side in that sort of way. But let's see where he does go towards. Looks like he's going towards long A, maybe going for some more aggressive plays here, and this can be a difficult angle to pick.
You mentioned it earlier on, Anders, that they're just not challenging out at long A any rounds at all, and we are into the 13th round now. It's all on Olofmeister, basically trying to eke some sort of opening and again his strong platform.
I'd be very worried if I was Fnatic right now. Envy are showing that they know how to control this plateau. Olofmeister, shot to the face. It's going to be a quick trade. JW for NBK. pronax from the underhand flash through. Can they take down Happy? He turns around, but he goes down anyway. And a lot of trouble for kioShiMa. He's alone. Backup is far away, and they're all coming for him. They're coming from through the door here. And actually, Fnatic a bit slow, and that might cost them. kioShiMa gets a kill, pistols out, and flusha will take him down. And now it's a 2v3.
Apex spots one around the other side, but he manages to get flusha. That's the bomb carrier. keniS joins him. He's the only man left. He's got one kill in the entire game so far. And that is all he will have because KRIMZ executes him. And fnatic get themselves another round on the board.
So another round where keniS is redundant, not really turning up at all. He's left in a 2-on-1 situation trying to clutch that. That's why I said getting to a back of B with the AWP seems would be more viable for them. At least he can find some confidence there. Now some easy shots coming in with Olof pushing up against that upper platform. So much there, but once again, they are on an eco here. There's actually going to be a force buy as well. So Desert Eagles, head armor as well, and we can see once again Fnatic heading towards the B bomb site. Olofmeister leading the charge as usual, but a big round here. We know they can do it there. JW takes an Apex thing to open it up.
Very delayed smoke, and Olofmeister just strolls on through, gets a glimpse of NBK. That grenade's going to bounce straight back at him. Kio trying to get anything, something, nothing. Things landing. Olaf will get tagged out by Happy, and that's going to be a rifle going to kioShiMa as he hops up on there and collects it, but it's A side that they're looking towards.
Kenny's here, and he might get a kill if he's good at it here. No, but not going to happen. The UMP from flusha will take him down. Kenny's having the struggle of a lifetime here. Happy up in the bomb site, 5-7 in hand, and flusha will go down. NBK falls in return. It's still a 2v3, and that shot close range with the AWP from JW will drop him in. It's all on kioShiMa with no grenades, with no kits. Henry, would you go for it?
Definitely not. Judging how we're going to go into the last round after this, you want to have as much money as possible. And if we take a look at what they've got right now, they're going to have absolutely nothing. It's going to be another pistol round. So if they can make sure they can save his AK, at least they have a fighting chance of taking the next round.
I love Kenny as much as anybody, but this is one of the reasons why originally when he was on Very Games, they ended up trading him for shots because they were worried about these high pressure situations and how he responded to them. I'm not saying that's necessarily what's happening here, but he needs to find a personal way back in the game.
I don't feel like he's been utilized correctly though. Like I said, they could have just easily had the solution there by stabilizing the economy, making sure they got him in a comfortable position, but he's just been on the other side of the map every single time. Wherever Fnatic have gone, they're just falling for the bait every time. But we go into the last round of the half now. You can see a couple of Famouses there, but Fnatic are well aware of what's going on in this situation. They change up their pace a little bit. The bomb heads towards long A.
And they're finally, like, as you say, going long A. Kenny's going to try and toss that nade out. The weak point has been spotted, and at the moment Kenny is not having a very good performance here. And unfortunately for you guys at home, none of those keniS Dragon Lords are dropping just yet, that's for sure. Can he hold them at bay? Smoke down, but they are so limited on resources. Envious being tested all across the map. Olofmeister once again just pulling away weapons, but wow, KRIMZ has gone down. Apex gets a double, can't quite make it a triple. And now Kenny, you have to deliver for your team now, as flusha gets a peek across, but it's not to be. And flusha gets the kill and the bomb recovered. It's a 2-on-3 though. Still, Envious could do it.
And NBK with another Deagle kill. It seems like that's just a bad omen. Whenever he starts up, he seems to always finish very strong with that weapon. 35 seconds, and flusha, he's got a double, but he's going to have to get an ace here to close out the round. And I think this is actually a huge difference. 10-5 or 9-6. If Envy get that 6th round, I think they're still very competitive in this map, and it could turn up either way here. And second half, let's see if Kenny can't make it back. We've got 2 people on A, and just NBK with a Deagle on the B bomb site. flusha walking in, and he instantly gets shot down. And now it's going to be a bomb plant with a smoke to boot here. Are you ready, D-Man?
It's happening.
There was just 10 seconds on the clock. NBK, if you could have just stayed prone, anything hidden, it's easy to see. The benefit of hindsight is a wonderful thing, but they are lining up for flusha now, and Happy running headlong into the crosshairs. flusha not going to land the shot though, and it will be 9-6. Is that the round, ladies and gentlemen? You see what it means, flusha and JW there. A wry smile, but it could very well have been 10-5.
Wow. I definitely think that could be the round. 9-6. They just showed us on the first half how good they were in the pistol round. In spite of their tournament statistics here, they've actually done very well here in the grand finals. Now the question is, if they could do the same thing on the terrorist side, if they win that, strong likelihood they'll end up at 9 being on the more favored side. This is still a very competitive game. Don't mistake the fact that fnatic have had some very good streaks in this first half. Envy are very much in this game.
Absolutely. The T-side pistol as well. You normally do favour the Ts just because of the amount of options they have and where the CTs have to be so peeled away and passive here. We may see some aggression coming in from fnatic here, but you do have to put your eggs towards the envious camp here.
And I think you're doubly right. One of the advantages of the USPS is on maps where you have a lot of range. Well, there are a lot of places on Cobblestone where you have that, but the one place you don't is the drop-down room.
Yeah.
If they come in there with the Glocks and you're close range with USPS, you have 1, maybe 2 shots before you're going to get simply outgunned. So I'm really curious about Envy. We said it all tournament long, but their speed and their aggression is key to the success, and they almost just beat fnatic on Dust 2 using it.
And what do you do when one of your teammates does have just 1 kill in the entire reign?
I don't think it was down to keniS necessarily. You can see, there's looking at the round there, that every round they got, they lost to 1 straight after. They never got an opportunity to actually build the bankroll up. We know keniS relies on the AWP. He can be a decent rifler, but it has seemed like he was locked out of that game purely because he never had the money to actually get rolling in that situation. We didn't see him really. The only thing I saw that was positive is when he went towards middle and faced with the orb. Got some information, but wasn't able to do anything with it. That's why I was calling for him just to be passive at the back of the B, and he could potentially just lock down that side by himself and have 2 players in drop down.
And quite often, we talked about it in the game, they weren't going long A. That's where he was. He was always on the retake, and it was always odds against him. I don't want to give excuses for the guy because, keniS is a professional and one of the best players in the world, so nobody really needs to make an excuse for him, but it was definitely stacked against him. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9-6 fnatic, the second half underway. fnatic, are they just 7 rounds away from victory, their 3rd major, or can Envious take it to a 3rd map?
And look how ready Envy were for that counter boost up and drop zone, because they did it themselves. NBK charging in, but he's going to get shot down. flusha and olofmeister and flusha again. Another headshot. Kenny returns, and it's about time. He's still got the Glock and 20 bullets left. Can he find the kill? He goes down to pronax, and that's going to leave Happy alone. He was far away from his team, and they all got butchered in that A-bomb side.
It's going to be Happy here. No bomb. 1 minute remaining. He really hasn't got a hope. He needs to find a couple of frags very quickly, because as long as fnatic don't make a huge mistake here, this is the pistol round in their favour.
And you would expect the next 1, maybe 2 rounds to follow as well. And that will take fnatic into double digits, and that's a very nerve-wracking situation for any Envy fan out there. A little tap down with the USPS gives Happy's position away. Nobody really showing. Everybody has an angle to an impossible situation. And it is 10-6, ladies and gentlemen. fnatic, they're getting close to doing it.
Interesting approach from them that round. Like we discussed how strong the drop-down area can be. They actually opted to send 4 of their team towards the long A area, but that actually run into the bomb zone, running into the silent USP is getting completely locked down there. But that's going to be another round on the board for fnatic. 10 for them now. Of course, the force buy comes in from MVS. They didn't get a bomb down, but they have got 5 Tech 9s, 5 sets of armor, and 1 flashbang. Suggests it has to be something very fast, and maybe they can finally utilize that drop-down area to some advantage here.
Look, olofmeister and flusha, they've gone very aggressive over on A site. Got a good peek around there. NBK was covering it off, but they're fully expecting this drop. They're just going to pile on straight through. It's going to be a fast play from Envious. They have to get themselves round, but they have to start landing the shots, and KRIMZ is just going to get a beautiful spray down alongside pronax, and that attack has been stopped dead in his tracks. JW will manage to land the 3rd shot, and NBK now all alone gets himself 1 on flusha, but that will be all they got. That was a force, and that's going to take fnatic to 11-6 and an eco for Envy.
unfortunately, that was just so predictable from MVS, I'm afraid. Most teams will try that in that situation. MVS, of course, famous for force buying in these situations, and then going towards that. The only real viable option you have is trying to get through drop down and force your way out of there. fnatic was so prepared for it, locked them down, made sure they had crossfires set up there, and now we're looking down the barrel of 12 rounds on the board for fnatic.
At least Envy, normally in those situations, they do enough damage that they might even be tempted to do another force-up. That's how they grind teams down. But fnatic, they didn't lose that much. And now flusha coming up here with the submachine gun, dropping Kenny and the bomb. And a bit of a grenade follow-up here. You can tell clearly who's in control of this match right now. fnatic are dictating the pace of the game. And Envy, they're playing a game of catch-up, and they don't have the rounds for it. They need to get back in as soon as they have rifles. Another kill for flusha, and we're looking at 5 versus 3.
They're showing such aggression on these anti-ecos as well. They know they've got absolutely nothing to play with. Most teams will be holding back and saying, let's wait for them to come to us. They're showing their dominance right now, getting these kills all over the map and not even dropping a single man themselves. A clean sweep of fnatic there. So just showing how confident they are right now. And it looks like they actually may be going into this one with a huge advantage and maybe keeping the Mag 7 and the SMG there just to get the bankroll rolling and keep applying the pressure to Team Envious there.
You got to wonder, is this time of a pause, Envy?
I'd say probably is at this situation, just because they need to work what's going on. NBK just pointed out he's got a Zeus there, so he's having a good time.
Feeling fruity. We'll see how close he gets with that one. It is going to be an aggressive boost coming out. JW will be getting up there, but Happy is ready and waiting for him, and he's going to rush straight in towards him. And Happy will get that opener. So, is that the advantage that they need? flusha lingering. Look at this little boost. Get himself in towards the corner. He's going to try and get a glimpse, but olofmeister with a spray down, almost catching kioShiMa out there. Kenny, yes, does have to back away. flusha got himself the kill over on A-Long. And this is still a very even matchup, but it is fnatic coming out on top in the exchanges.
Oh wow, the SMG actually doing work for flusha. A double, almost a triple there. Kenny getting tagged in the face, but doesn't do quite enough damage, and that's going to put it into a 3v3 here. And it feels like if anything has to work here for Envy, it's going to be Happy leading the charge. He's top fragging, I think, at 18 kills currently. They might need him to step it up and just try and carry them through here, because otherwise fnatic are going to make their way through there. Walking in towards the B bomb site, olofmeister's alone, and if you're going to have one player on a bomb site, D-man, Olof might not be the worst one.
No, absolutely. If one man can do it, surely olofmeister can. As much as he likes to call on his team being what helps him become one of the greatest players in the world, you cannot deny the fact that this man is a beast when he gets going. He doesn't quite get the triple spray down, but Happy has to get the plant in. He's only got 14 seconds remaining on the clock here. And KRIMZ, the pronax, push it in. He gets himself another. 3 health is all he has. The plant will go down. KRIMZ just about to come around the corner. Happy has to try and land the headshot, but it's not going to be. And that is 13-6. fnatic just 3 rounds from their 3rd major.
I was about to say olofmeister did everything he could to lock them out there, but Happy, that's one of the cleverest players I've seen in a while. Like, he knew exactly what the siege is going to be doing. Fake the bomb plant, face the door, and even when he was blind, takes the kill down and gave himself a real viable chance there. But just to compliment olofmeister again, holding that area for the perfect amount of time as well, smoking out the T's when a 30-second mark was there, and then forcing them to come out in a horrible position, and that pushes fnatic now in touching distance of tournament point here. It's really exciting stuff. We've got the AWP out for JW as well, and he's going to be facing this long A area.
Well, no AWP for Kenny, but JW did have one. He didn't land the early shot. He ends up going down to 80 health instead. It's back down the middle, followed up by a grenade. He takes a little bit of damage, but kioShiMa is over at a B bomb site and trying to see if he can find an opening through the smoke. No one going down just yet, but a bit of damage onto JW is a good start.
pronax with a quick spray down. That was in drop room, catches Happy out. But it is A-Long that was being worked. flusha, though, not falling for it, not calling for any rotating. fnatic are holding strong, and that's going to work completely against Envy here. That was a late smoke going down, 50 seconds on the clock. They are working into a very well set up fnatic defense.
Pronax close to drop down here. Gotta be careful, they're coming and enforce. Apex around the corner. Pronax gonna get sprayed down. There's the opening, but olofmeister's up on the box. He takes 1-2, turns a 180, but then kioShiMa shows up. And we're gonna be in a 2v2, 35 seconds. The bomb being put down, but look at this flusha through the smoke, and he drops him. He's got 8 bullets left. kioShiMa has to go for the quad kill here to win the round and extend this series. fnatic, they're dangerously close to a victory. 22 seconds, and it's ticking away. He has to commit or get the kill. One or the other. A flash out to buy time, and kioShiMa flanking all the way around. flusha sees him, nearly drops him. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. flusha, is he gonna move closer? kioShiMa has to hold it down. 9 bullets, and he stops it. kioShiMa gets out.
My
You're
God.
gonna be kidding. He actually wins that round, and it's 7-3. And Envy, they stay alive.
What a bait that was. The double fake plan to win the round. And that was one they absolutely needed. You can see them finally getting some money in their bank account. They had 2 galos that round, but what a play at the end.
As soon as he lets go of the bomb, if he gets this wrong, his flusha is somehow in a place where he can't kill him. The round is done. He can't recommit to the plant in that time. That is a huge risk for kioShiMa.
Not only was he done, he'd be dead. That was a simple duel after the time would have run out as well. It was so big. Envy not done yet. Well, we were saying the same for fnatic in the previous match on Dust 2. Now, can Envy try and cobble something together here and get themselves a couple more rounds on the board? flusha being kept at bay over on long A, but that flash will give Envy pause for thought. Now it's going to be a rotate once again. They're coming in, but Happy will get himself the opener. Pronax goes down. Is that going to draw their attention, or will it be a fake?
Good start here once again. JW though hiding in the smoke right underneath Happy, and Happy furiously spraying through, but he's not coming out on top. That Max 7 doing a lot of damage. But over at the A side of the map, we've got flusha and olofmeister very close to the action here. Olof going to be peeked into the middle of the flashbang, and flusha picking up a kill on NBK.
That's going to give them serious problems. Apex going to come around the side, picks the AK up, and Olof comes out on top in the straight-up one-on-one duel. And now Kenny and Happy are all that stand in the way of fnatic's 14th round and possibly crippling Envy's economy.
They do it again, that perfect timing, pushing through the synergy with the flashbangs into middle, picking up a couple of frags, falling back, and that reaction as well, coming in from long A. olofmeister somehow finds a kill as he returns there. But now we go into almost match point for fnatic, and look at the money for Envious. After winning that last round, they have absolutely nothing to play with here, and that's been a theme for this entire game.
Wow, there's so much going on in this game. I don't know, is it against tournament rules for have Happy play for both himself and Kenny? Could they do that? Because I feel like right now Happy's just seconds away from putting the whole team on his back and trying to see if he can pull this one through. They need to take an astonishing amount of rounds in a row, and it's not starting off well. olofmeister picking up 1-2, he's got the pistol out, looking for more headshots. The bomb is down as well. This is a disaster for the Frenchmen, and KRIMZ shows up down to 2.
They tried a similar tactic that worked for fnatic, and fnatic were not falling for it. They had the men in position, and that's left the bomb in no man's land. kioShiMa just going to get hunted down in drop room here. Happy's going to try and join him, but he's just hoping and praying that one of these deagles will land, but it's not to be. And fnatic will be on championship point. Their 3rd major beckons. Love them or loathe them, you have to respect them. fnatic could become modern-day Counter-Strike legends.
I think this may be it, guys. This is the last round potentially. Look at the bar they have, Tech 9s, AKs, but we saw fnatic do it on Dust 2. There's no reason why Envious can't dig deep now. They know everything's on the line. One more round will do it. What have they got left in the tank?
I mean, you could have been a bit worried as a fnatic fan when you saw them play Luminosity on Mirage yesterday. That was a struggle. I think they could have lost 2-0 to VP, but look at the speed coming into it here. Grenade on through, and Envy, they're speeding up. JW missing a couple of shots, and they get 2 in return. Pronax in the back lines, and they're going to get the refrags here. Very low on health is Happy, and they just keep on training it through. They can't stop now. Olof with the kill as well. It's going to be Kenny with a refrag. Grenade on in. Happy's on 6 health. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to require a miracle and nothing less for Happy to make it out. I don't think there's any chance. flusha looking to end this. It's going to be a 3rd title for fnatic. They win a 3rd major championship in global offensive.
Wow, and what a way to finish it.
cementing their place at the top echelons of Counter-Strike history. They are by far the best team in CSGO.
What a moment it is. Olofmeister, you look like you can't believe it.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I've never played the first game, the comeback. I don't know what to say.
Well, talk me through that comeback, because to all intents and purposes, you should have lost that first map.
Yeah, we should have lost that first map, but I think we have never played that good Counter-Strike on the T side of Dust 2 before. I don't know where it came from, but somehow we did it. I don't know.
I heard the casters saying it was godlike. When you're in that moment, when you're on that comeback, at what point do you believe it yourself?
15. No, we believe we can be down 15-0 and we can still believe. But it was that game was also very hard mentally, but it only proves that how good our team is. I don't know what to say.
How does it feel? Just talk me through the feelings of what it's like to know you've set all these records. You're now the first team ever to win 3 majors. You've won one back-to-back. How does that feel?
I have no words. I don't know what to say.
Listen, I'm not going to keep pushing it. What do you want to say about the rest of your team and how they played?
I don't know. I don't have any words. The feelings I have right now is undescribable. I don't know what to say.
I'm going to leave it there, Olofmeister. Listen, I think you're going to get a rapturous applause from every single person in the Lannex Arena. It's been an unbelievable tournament. Put your hands together for fnatic!
fnatic are indeed your ESL One Cologne 2015 champions, winning back-to-back ESL events, but of course, more importantly, winning back-to-back majors. Now 3 major titles in their trophy case. 3 of them holding 3 of those, 2 of them now along with the back-to-back and 2-time major title holders. What a final. I mean, sure, we didn't get to see 3 maps, but we got to see an amazing team perform and prove that they are indeed the best right now.
The best team of the Counter-Strike Global Offensive history. I think that is pretty clear by this moment. And they just played overall great. I think Olof said it pretty well. They have never played such a good TR on Dust 2. To do that in a major final, to come back from those deficits, it's just stunning.
Yeah, I mean, Moses, walk me through this, because that is exactly what it was. They didn't prove that they were the best because they stomped through the whole tournament as we all celebrate here to get we got confetti here at the Dust 2.
It's like not there, unfortunately, but yeah.
But, they climbed back into it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the hallmark of a good team, and I think, and we'll let the crowd cheer for Envious here, who had a great tournament run, actually, a fantastic tournament. This is a team that's going to be so good so soon.
Of course, I mean, they proved that they got to the finals so close to winning themselves, and the fans cheering for them.
Kenny must be devastated right now.
Yeah, he had probably the worst game of his career on that Cobblestone game. And that's what I was talking about coming into last map there. How much will it affect him when they lost that Dust 2 game after being so far up and then ending up losing in overtime? And it just, obviously, they never had the economy to actually give him an APA or whatever, but overall, just throughout the whole Cobblestone game,
yeah, I mean,
he wasn't good enough. But I just want to point something out. We kept the major in Sweden. Congrats to me. And congrats to Team Fnatic.
Of course, congratulations going out to Fnatic, but really good to see everyone celebrating also how far Envious has come. But yeah, let's keep the spotlight on Fnatic because they deserve it right now. The fact that they climbed back into the finals, they also climbed back at the semis too, when they were losing to VP. That's when you know you have such a strong team because they never go down and out. They just go down, but they bounce right back up.
Yeah, 4 rounds away from actually going out in the semi-final against Fnatic or against Virtus.pro. It really didn't look good for them at that moment, but they're so good at controlling the map. I feel also like the way that every player on that team is just contributing is just insane. You see pronax, a lot of guys have been like, yeah, he doesn't frag as much as the others. For this final, he did, and he also made some very important calls.
Yeah, he had one of the key rounds, the double spray down on ramp going up to A. That round right there, that spray literally won them that round.
Yeah.
That's the kind of performance that pronax is capable of. That's why he has a spot on this team. It's not only the great mind, it's the fact that he can frag as well when needed.
Mm-hmm. The big thing to me is Olof didn't have any words to describe his teammates out on stage there just in that moment, but he described it to us just a couple days ago during the group stage when he said, I don't like being called the best player in the world because I have the best teammates in the world. And that's true, that all of his teammates they carry each other, they lift each other up, they make them all better than any of them could be individually. And that's what we're seeing. That's why they're the greatest all time. That's why they won 2 back-to-back and 3 overall.
I mean, that's also one of the reasons, we can call him the best player in the world, but keep in mind, when he says he has the best teammates in the world, yes, he's 110% correct because they are the best team in the world.
Well, there you have it. It's just that simple. Look at how competitive this entire tournament has been, and getting into the playoffs, 2-0s, yes, but battles nonetheless. Into the semifinals, 3 maps, each one tooth and nail.
Of course.
3 of those players from Fnatic have won 3 majors, including the first major.
What a record.
That right there is legendary, no matter the game, the history. That right there is incredible.
You know, it was really fun to watch how people were watching this tournament throughout the week. People were starting to doubt as Fnatic showed some weaknesses against these teams. As these teams started to try to challenge them, they were like, does Fnatic also need another roster swap? Who's the weak link on Fnatic? But then they showed up at the finals, they were like, no one. All 5 of us are going to perform, and we're going to make sure we secure that trophy once again. Fnatic just nailing the coffin right there and making sure that everyone was reminded, you know, you can come this close to beating us, but if you can't beat us, that's the end of the story.
Exactly. You have to be decisive, and it just wasn't in Envy today.
Yeah, I mean, or was it? Because if they would have won that Dust 2 game, I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing,
well,
right?
What if? I mean, it pains me, it breaks my heart to say, but what if Kenny didn't have 1 frag at the end of the first half?
I agree, but the thing is,
it breaks my heart, but that's the reality, is that you cannot have a godlike player not show up for the final when you need him most.
I agree, but I feel like Kenny is one of those players that's just going to come back even stronger, right? And also, you can always say what if, yeah. But they were having that massive lead on Dust 2. They would have had the opportunity to lose couple, and right now we would have been preparing for the Inferno game.
Could have been.
They can't. When they go home, they'll be so sad about that Dust 2 game that it's absolutely insane.
Soul crusher.
Yeah, and I think that's just the 2 maps they just lost are signs that we saw how good they've been as a new lineup so quickly. But the 2 reasons why they lost, they're just signs of a team that's so new together. And we forget that because of how well they played leading up to these finals.
Right.
Not being able to close out a team in a grand final, not being able to close out a team in any match is a sign of a team that's new together. They're still figuring out how to do that. That's where the next step is taken. And also just how deep the map pool needs to be. We talked about it in every map veto. Fnatic, deepest map pool. TSM, Virtus.pro, those guys, major winners, have very deep map pools.
Yeah.
Except for TSM, excuse me.
Well, after throwing Kenny under the bus, we do have to give kudos to Apex and Kenny. They haven't been in that situation.
Of course.
Exactly, right? This is their first time on that stage in a final battle. 3 of their players have won a major title. They've been in that situation. They learned how to close it. Unfortunately, this is just another learning experience that they're going to have to take from it. Now, Apex and Kenny, they know that feeling. Next time, it won't be this way.
And just to point out as well, without Apex and Kenny, they would not be in the final.
Yeah.
The way that they've been
Exactly.
playing throughout the tournament, you have nothing to be upset about. Sure, you can be upset for now about losing the final versus Fnatic, but then when you go back and look at it, the just pure talent you have on that team and what you succeeded throughout this major is something that you should be happy about.
But one other thing I want to point out is I feel like EnVyUs will be stronger, but I feel like they are also one of those lineups which will fairly quick reach one of the highest levels. I feel like they have maybe 5-10% more in them. That would probably have been enough for this event to win the major. But the other team's also going to be stronger and stronger. They're going to keep fighting.
I mean,
Sounds
let's
kinda
talk about that. But let's talk about that. I mean, how close, when you started listening to the what ifs, similar, and you guys were jumping in on all the other what ifs we could have. What if VP beat Fnatic? What if Luminosity beat Fnatic? Right? What if TSM beat? We could have had so many what ifs. And you're bringing up a good point that sure, Envy fans have hope. Envy players yourselves have hope. But at the same time, every other team is also going to come back stronger than ever.
I have one more what if. What if we close this show down and go drink some beer?
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Hold on.
Because, you know, I actually wanted to end with that because, listen, celebration to, of course, you four gentlemen, but everyone who was watching today, everyone who was here, congratulations to CSGO. We filled the Lanxess Arena. We were here for 4 days of an event. The MMC studio started off 16 teams down to the wire in the finals. Over 1 million people watching. An amazing weekend.
What if Fabien comes back to NIP after this kind of failure and they go back to win a major?
No follow-up. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching ESL One Cologne 2015 this weekend. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing your expert thoughts throughout the weekend and guiding us through as we watch Fnatic take another major title. Tell us what you thought of this show. Hashtag ESL One. And also, don't forget, CS continues with ESL at IEM San Jose later this year in North America. Should be just as explosive. For now, we'll see you guys later.